Hey, and good evening. Welcome to Syncretism here on Critical Mass Radio Online. Another Friday night. Just waiting for Santo here. I got Tony on the board. Tony, how are ya?
Oh, rushed off my feet as usual, doing 100,000 things at once.
Yeah,
terrible it is.
Yeah, it's been one of those days, just non-stop inundation, crazy stuff, and all good though. Yeah, it's getting. Literally, I've been having to take myself away from the computer just to get my head clear. You know, it's that busy. You know, I contact with a lot of people all day, every day, and yeah, you guys are doing pretty good out there. Oops, I forgot to send out this promo. There it goes. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just going to keep my eye on Skype here and see when Santo is ready to jump in. He's showing online now, so I'll just pull him into the call, so he should be there. So there we go. Man, a few words, unless of course you ask about your chart, and then try and shut him up.
Absolutely.
So we'll see if he's there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, guys, for those of you that are listening that patch into the Synchronicity chat show, chat room, should I say, we're doing some changes to the site, so I know it looks a little different than it usually does, but we're halfway through the process of changing or fixing, should I say, the damage that was done. And so it will be back to its glorious pre-hack state, but we're in the middle of working on it, so if it looks different, now you know why. Cheers.
Oh, I guess the clocks must have changed, Santo. I was not aware of that. Maybe you guys jumped ahead or something, because we're rolling here, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Wow, it's 10 a.m. here. I was waiting for 11 a.m.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I thought it was going to be the same for you. Nothing changed that I know of. Did your clock change?
No, not that I know of. I'm confused now. It's Saturday. Daylight saving normally happens on a Sunday, and we're still on daylight savings time. So
weird. That's weird because last week we were of course running an hour later, so I guess that would have been 11 your time, but that was only for the month until UK readjusted into the Greenwich Mean Time. They jumped ahead on Saturday night. So that might be what it is. We rolled back and anyway, yeah, so I guess it is, sorry about that. Oh, I love this confusion with clocks. Oh, it's tough enough having a big planet and 24-hour clock running and without having them jumping it all over the place at different parts of the world, you know? Anyway.
That's what happens when you live under a Julio-Gregorian calendar, Kate. We become slaves of their time zones and all of their dictates, really. So thankfully that's going to change very soon.
Well, it's already changing, you know. How do you sum that up? Again, it's still very difficult to put into perspective that which I know I get to see every day, and I know you and Tony get to see changes on a daily basis. So
maybe we're rolling it out.
Yeah, it's getting tough to keep up. I got to tell you, it really is. But so you're okay to go for now, or?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'm glad to be on with you guys. This is my element with you guys because we speak the same language. So
I consider these shows R&R. There's no effort to them. It's just kind of sit back and okay, what's going to happen next? And it's always something amazing.
Absolutely. It's just catching up with the magnitude of what's just happened, for the end of the week type thing. It's incredible.
Yeah, so what have you guys got to report?
I've got loads of stuff. Did you see the meeting of the BRIC nations in South Africa and the billions of dollars they're going to pour into a new currency so that they can squash the bloodthirsty Swiss system of the American dollar, a currency that is owned by no nation but is owned by bloodthirsty pedophile oligarchic controllers who love to see nothing but holocausts and sacrifices and death and vaccinations and murder and poisons and blackmail and authority. They believe in authority somehow. I don't know who gave them the authority, but they want to, harvest all of the fear so that they can have authority. Anyway, the BRIC nations are going to smash them. Hallelujah.
Yeah, lots of stuff like that going on around the world. People have had so much for the petrodollar. I would hazard to think probably as much blood has poured getting that oil out of the ground as oil has flowed, just for them to get their money and the little fictitious debt notes to control the planet. We're way to it though. People we've had enough.
Exactly.
All right. Go ahead.
So we need to make sure everybody knows. We have free energy. We have lots and lots of forms of free energy. Outside your front door because it contains the sun's free energy because it's warmed up the atmosphere. So, we need to get people up to speed with this. Water, hydrogen and oxygen are too much explosive on the planet. You just separate them using electricity, you can burn them. There's magnets. Free energy is in magnets as well. It's an imbalanced magnetic field. It basically, all the energy, as long as the magnetic field is out of balance, it will rotate because it will never be able to find its balance, and that can generate energy from turbines and all sorts of things. There's lots of different forms of energy out there, guys. We don't need this. Gold's in abundance. If you want to go there, it's all over the surface of Mars. Again, we can prove this stuff. We can show you the information that demonstrates this. So the whole thing's based on corrupt, pardon my French, bullshit. We need to get that across to the people. People need to be aware of it.
Oh, you had me at bullshit.
Yeah, and that is not French. That was English.
Pure, perfect English, and with such a proper accent, no less.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely is right. Now, where was I going to go on that? Yeah, just having a basic scope overall this week. Lots of neat energy coming out. Contacts out the yin yang. People I'm getting emails from and messages and whatnot from. I've been tuned into us for a while, or they've been tuned in, and then of course tuning into us, and apparently our no holds barred, no bullshit kind of radio sort of works with them. It's like I like to think that we say everything that everybody wants to say, but doesn't have a radio station to do it. So we do, and so do you now. Isn't that cool? So you can call in at 661, good segue, huh? 661-467-2401, and of course you can Skype in if you want to chat, because it's just a phone call. That's all it is, right, guys?
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, so Santo, carry on with. You had the BRIC nations. Yeah, I did catch up on that. I know that the Asian nations basically gave the U.S. currency a boot, and they're going to work things out amongst themselves. So much of that one world currency thing going on, eh?
Yeah. I'm going to share a couple of great vids for the people to check out. Joe Rogan, the American War Machine. 9 minutes of pure. I mean, that guy he's got his head on properly. Joe Rogan can decipher the bullshit, just like George Carlin and Bill Hicks. Great comedians, and Joe Rogan is just right on the money. There's another video I'd like people to have a look at about the offshore accounts that have been discovered. Have you heard that?
Well, I know a lot of stuff's getting exposed fast and furious, and just one comment on Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. He just, no bullshit. Here it is, guys. What do you think of them apples? Make a pie. Yeah. Yeah, Joe's good. I like Joe. He pretty much spews it out just as he feels it. He spews it, and it's beautiful. Yeah, he gets on some pretty intense diatribes sometimes, and he doesn't wax eloquence, and he certainly cuts through any illusions that you might have of what he's trying to say, because he says it. Anyway, tell us about. Hey, there's a happy story, Santo. Tell us about the accounts that got exposed.
Yeah. I'm going to try and find the video. In the meantime, the one about the BRIC nations, please have a look at this video. It's 6 or 7 minutes long. Hegemonic corporations scared as BRICS plan bank to rival IMF. And just listen toward the end what the guy says on I suppose it's free-to-air television, what he says about the blood and the wars and the blackmailing and the killings as the CIA, the defenders of the Federal Reserve and the killing Swiss machine went down to Chile, Argentina, Vietnam, and now in Afghanistan and Sudan and Syria, Iraq, just to secure a good life for them, their banksters up in the Swiss hills. That's all, just so that 3 or 4 families of killing bankers can be happy and have everything they want. And they've got all of these servants, foot soldiers all over the planet doing their beckoning, doing their will. And it's just bidding, that's it, thank you. Doing their bidding, and that's about to be over, folks. We can rejoice. Aries is going to bring about, already we've seen under the stars of Aries what Ireland did to the banks. We've seen what, you're going to be so encouraged. Take 7 minutes out, folks, and watch that video. Hegemonic corporations scared as BRICS plan bank to rival IMF. Now, BRICS is spelled BRICS, and I imagine that the S stands for South Africa because you've got Brazil, Russia, India, China, and S would be for South Africa, since it was in South Africa that this meeting was held. And you will see hundreds and hundreds of heads of state and very, very powerful men who are concerned about the blood spilling on this earth and what the elites through the IMF and the World Bank planning to do to us so that they can continue to hold us at ransom and control us. So we can be very, very happy that BRICS is out there. Very happy.
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I muted and was trying to get there. I figured Tony would jump on that right away.
To be honest, I've been too busy with all the other stuff that I've been doing to do much research today. It's just been absolutely flat out, it really has. But I was going to say, if Santos knows a bit more about that, I'd like to hear it myself.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things that I've been finding a lot lately is, while I'm conversing with people, the research, I'm not able to do it at the level I was doing it. Listen, it's more important to me right now to connect people and make sure that they know that they're all part of this, and that's kind of how I see my role in this, and I get a chance to see that and experience it firsthand, so that people, when they tag me, it's like, oh, she responded. Of course I did. That's in real time. I want people to know that I am sitting exactly where I need to be, and I can be reached at any given point, unless I'm away from the computer for any length of time at all. But I always get back to people, and if I miss you, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I'm inundated, and I think I'm doing pretty good on keeping up with everybody.
Absolutely.
Right, I've got the video fixed. I went into the history, and it's a 6-minute video. Again, offshore bank accounts, thousands of names released, investigation. Check it out, folks. Be encouraged, please. We are at the threshold of big, big, big change. All we need is for all of us to absolutely out and out rebel against this putrid pedophile system that we've been under. We must be the ultimate rebels. Anarchy is the only way, folks. It's absolutely the only way. Peaceful anarchy, self-determination, because we are gods, and we are going to allow God to experience God unhindered, because these entities have told us that we're not God, that we're something stupid that needs to get a 9-to-5 job and work called a job. and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No need to, rehash all the enslavement concepts on this show. We know all about that. We know what they've done to us. But one thing that they've done is they've stolen our divinity. We are divine. We are everything that ever was, and that is, and that ever will be. There's no currency that can diminish that, and never will. And we must do our utmost in everything, every breath we breathe, every word we speak, every thought we think, every action we act upon must be against this putrid system. We must, because otherwise we're cowards. And wherever we go in the afterlife, we will always allow some creepy, sneaky creature to come up to us and sell us some bullshit and say, "Oh, come here, I've got something for you," and seduce us. If we don't deal with it here, well, we'll cop it we'll cop it wherever we go. We must stand, as Giordano Bruno did, and he was killed for it. But we are Giordano Bruno. Let us not let him have died in vain. He died because he was trying to teach the world that we're all stars, and there's superpopulated planets all over the universe, and we can go out and reach out to them and join our universal family of brothers all over the place, everywhere in this universe, inhabited beings of other dimensions. And these creeps would have us think that we are isolated like a cocoon on this planet, we're dumb, and we just have to do jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to kindergarten, learn how to be a fireman or whatever the bullshit they want to put you in a little box, and then you die and you get an all caps thing on your grave, and hallelujah, and even your death is hypothecated, and they make millions on it.
Yeah, yep. and you get to come back and jump into another body and go through the same thing, or decide to change it. I did get a report in today. Wow, long email. Anyway, the individual shall remain anonymous, but I was asked to send good vibes across the airwaves, and this I'm going to do a shout out. I'm not sure if Tammy's around, but she had some really good news last night with regards to funding being cut off, and Tammy has mentioned in the email here. So she was being listened to last night, as she always is. Thousands of people tune in. And that's thousands of people that are awake. There we go. So here it is. Please send good vibes across the airways. So I've been asked to highlight this news as an example of a state-level treasury being held accountable and her devious machinations being exposed for the harm her actions have caused to over 1 million people living through the beautiful ocean state territory called Rhode Island. It was an article done, it's a Forbes magazine expose, so that's about as mainstream as you get. Part of they say that the favorite part of the Forbes expose is the opening salvo. I just scrolled down. I didn't actually see the article in here, so I'm going to see if I can find this. But they would love for me to read it on air to tens of thousands of you that are listening right now, who can glean hope that things are being exposed. Just like Tammy said last night, the funding is cut off, and this treasurer is the first of many to come, who will be called onto the carpet about what they have done, what they are doing, and must stop in their tracks immediately. Cease and desist. The people are here. Interesting point that was made within this. If you do any form of investigation into any of the governments around this planet, you are going to see immediately that the vast majority of them, typically 75% or more, are former lawyers and or judges, or have been involved in the bar at some level, and have obviously, if you're a lawyer, you've sworn an oath to the bar. And if you're going to swear an oath to the people, your oath to the bar is mandatory to be the one you serve. So why would you elect these fucking morons that are ex or still lawyer? And I have to say it because it's what they are. They're bottom-feeding fucking scum. Put them in power so that they can write the rules that are going to rip and strip us, and as Santos said, from cradle to grave. We've exposed the bond there. The fraud was committed on mom and dad, not us. Okay, this is why we missed it. It was committed on mom and dad. So really, the issue here is that little birth certificate thing that was given to your mom and dad actually caused them to aid and abet aid and abet you into fraud by thinking it was you, and they've convinced you of that for a lifetime, calling you by the name they thought they gave you but they sold. So really the non-disclosure here is not to you, it's to your parents. The contract was never disclosed. So I think if anyone has any issues in court, you might want to bring that up first, as far as the fraud that was perpetrated upon your mom and dad, because they only document these wankers, these lawyers, government, whatever you want to call them, bar society members. The only thing they gave you was an offer. You might as well get a DVD offer in the mail as get a birth certificate. If you don't send away for the DVDs, well, you don't get them, right? And that's the same thing with birth bonds. Now, what she put here was, love this opening on the Forbes link below. Let me see. Where are we here? And by the way, this is an individual that was involved in whistleblowing with regards to what's going on in Rhode Island. And I know there's a lot of people that were involved in this loop. So go ahead, Santo.
What the pedophile oligarchs didn't count on is that we would wake up so quickly and so beautifully and furiously, as the great prophet, the literary prophet said, the dead shall rise. They didn't expect that, because they've been pumping us with chemtrails and vaccinations and who knows what, and lies. And so they didn't expect that, but what they don't count on is what's coming next. There's 7 million innocent people in American prisons, and they're being raped. Those young boys in there, they're being beat up. And they don't even know how they got in there. All they did was they were driving down the road one day. They were doing a couple of miles over the limit, or whatever. Just some violation of the codes of these bar members, and I would advocate bar members behind bars, all priests in prison, vanquishing of the Vatican, and arrest the Queen, and let's start from there. And let's see if we can't have a party on this earth. We will have bliss forever.
Oh yeah, I mean we've already got it in the universe that there's going to be one hell of a beach party in Australia, and don't worry, we'll announce it. And I know there'll be lots of live entertainment. I'm bringing a 6-string, so there you go. Now here, continue to cite Forbes thought of the day. I got the article open, so we're waiting for it to open, and I do want to. Here we go. You want to talk about a headline? If I can get my computer, I know what the headline is. It's just getting my computer to scroll. Oh, come on. Go ahead.
So isn't that fair enough, Kate? Who put those innocent 7 million people? All right, there might be some criminals in there, like politicians and liars. Let's leave them in there. But all those other kids, who put them in there?
Well,
the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it was the bar. They did not hurt God. They did not hurt anybody, a lot of these people, most of the cases that are in there. And it was the bar that turned them over. So put them behind bars and release the free. That's what I'm thinking. That's how it worked when they were clamoring to kill Jesus, and I think it was Pilate, he gave them Barabbas, so a substitute or something like that. So well, they used deceit and people trafficking schemes. The fact that they can actually pocket a lot of money by putting an innocent person into prison is scandalous. I did share with you on the show probably last week the video of Pope Bergoglio, the Jesuit assassin pedophile pope that they have now, these morons called Catholics that think that they're going to be saved, by supporting pedophilia. It's pretty unusual, isn't it? Nowhere in the universe can you be saved by supporting a mafia gang of criminal banksters who are pedophiles, known pedophiles, protectors of pedophiles, and people rock up at Easter to listen to those bastards spew out their vomit from the Vatican. My God, is this planet fucking stupid or what?
Exactly.
We're living on planet dumb, man. It is dumb beyond words how dumb people are. These people ought to be there's oh god.
I know. Don't get you started.
No.
I can feel the love though.
I mean, the bloke's wearing a scarf with the satanic picture with horns on both sides of his jacket. He's got a fish hat which is representing the Dogon, and the chair that he sits in has got an inverted cross which is all satanic. You know, Luciferian or whatever you want to call it. It's not good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Get it already. I mean, look into his eyes. I mean,
I just wonder how they're still allowed to keep choir boys. It's like you know, going to these illegal chicken, you know, where the roosters fight each other to the death, and you slap the guy with a fine, and you continue to let him to keep roosters.
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to we had Janice Barcelo on there Tuesday night, and they were talking about, hey, listen, we're not just going to pick on the Vatican guys, we're going to pick on everyone. You're a monster, we're going to bring you out in the light and go, hey, look at you. You know, typically...
Janice is quite nice.
Yeah, absolutely, she was very nice about it. You know, the bottom line is, you know, like during circumcision, you know, the Moyle ceremony, the rabbi, after removing the labia clitoral hood off the male, and that's what it is, by the way. That's where the divine feminine was stolen from the physical male at birth, and that's why this has been propagated so much, because the male can never experience true connection, love, without that. So there you go, guys. All you guys who got circumcised, you had your divine feminine sheared from you at birth. So that's just one little angle. And what she was saying, too, is these guys, once they do the shearing of the divine feminine, they suck the blood. And I forget how many she said, you know, kids that in her area, whatever, I think it was on Maui or whatever, had ended up with genital herpes as a result of this.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking days old. You know, and here's a child. Not only did that male child have the divine feminine sheared from him, and any ability to connect physically in a love fashion to have children. Not only that, that's not bad enough. Let's give him herpes. Let's make sure that it's something that child has to carry through for the rest of their lives. And there's your fucking religiocosis chosenitis fucking idiots.
And they're all queuing up to drink that baby's blood, man. I mean, come on.
Oh, exactly.
You can't
make this shit up.
Think this is right.
Parents, by the way, Catholic parents, if you're going to send your son to choir, you might want to send some Trojan condoms with him. At least that way he might not get sexual diseases from these monsters. So, you know, I think that's what they should be doing on Sundays for all the choir boys, is making sure that they're all given condoms. So at least if they're going to be raped, they won't have to worry about getting you know, AIDS or herpes or anything else of a life-threatening, beyond the disgusting nature of these. Oh, another thing too, in California, they just passed this. I think it was last week. I got to go back to it, but the headline kind of made me what? Anyway, apparently in California, pedophilia is a sexual orientation. No, it's a sexual deviation. You were close. But you know, when it comes to sex, that's sorry guys, that's between consenting adults. You know, 2 words here: consenting, like it's okay, and adults. I'm big enough and old enough to make my own choices.
Yeah.
Sorry, not. Tell you what, ask a 5-year-old what sex means to them. Get them to write an essay on it. If they can do that, and they know exactly what they're getting into, then you've got a consenting adult. But I don't think you're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people need to know as well about the Talmud and the Torah. These are the teachings that they follow. And under some of this stuff, I mean, it's all right to marry I was going to say a 3-year-old, but I'm actually wrong. I think it's 1 year and 1 day, isn't it, or something? Santa?
Yeah.
I mean,
it would be. They want them as innocent as possible, those innocent little souls. As long as they have been untouched and innocent, they want to defile them first. These are vicious animals, rest assured. These are what Hermes explains, animals to be found in human bodies. Very deceiving are these ages we live in, that animals can actually incarnate and appear as human beings. That's what's going on. And they're incarnating from the dark satellite, the Earth's animal chakra. Read all about it in The Light of Egypt by Thomas H. Burgoyne. If you haven't read that book yet, you don't know anything. He founded the Hermetic Brothers of Luxor in the 1800s and revealed some of the greatest truths this world has ever known. And they are the truths that I'm revealing in Syncretism, by the way. It's the chief work of Syncretism you will ever read on this planet. And the wisdom comes from Luxor, Egypt. Very, very ancient wisdom. And he explained this, that animals would, in the Dark Ages, would incarnate. And he explained that the Dark Brotherhood here on Earth, known as the Vatican, are the one half of the spiritual realms that control them, the dark satellite. It's an animal entity. And they are the one half, and the dark satellite, the other half of all the evil that is taking place on this earth. So they are serving some very nasty masters themselves. Be glad that it's they that are doing this job, because they will be punished for doing this job and not you. Be glad that it was them and not you, and that you did not participate. I never have. I know, and my birth chart will testify to that. Leo ascendant. That I will never use my power for evil, and I know that I've never, ever, once in my life gone out of my way to hurt anybody in any kind of way. Never. And I will never conceive of such a thing. It's impossible. And so, but there are people on this planet who go out of their way to hurt you. And I've received plenty of those hurts from plenty of people. Plenty of people. And in fact, I'm receiving quite a bit of attention like that from nasty, savage slanderers. That's all they are. I can guarantee you that. That's all they are. And they've probably been on my back for many lifetimes. Who knows? And I haven't been able to get rid of them, obviously. They're still hanging around. But I'm pretty connected upstairs, so I'll deal with them sooner or later. I am dealing with them. But the thing is, they go out of their way. And there's only one law in the universe. Do not hurt, do not harm, do not destroy energy, etc. It's obvious, that law, that one law. And these, even the trolls listening today, we know there's one or two there that have to be assigned. They'd be assigned to every radio show on the air, one at least. They're taking a pay packet, and they are actually now listening in, and what their job involves going out of their way to hurt the truth on these airwaves. They are there to prevent these truths to get to the ears of the masses. That's what trolls do. So all they're doing, this is why they are existing, and as Jesus said, it would be better for you to cast a stone, a millstone around your neck and throw yourselves into the sea. It was better that you were never born. It was better that you were never born. These trolls, it's better that they were never born. Even the memory of them will be vanquished. Just because they went out of their way to hurt. Friends, listeners, if you're listening and this is resonating with you, and I know it is, don't ever go out of your way to hurt anybody. That's the only thing you can ever do wrong. That's all you can do that is wrong. And these trolls and these slanderers, that's all they're doing. I've got a woman here in Australia who does nothing other than tell people that, that she's obviously mind-controlled by David Simonton, and everybody should know who David Simonton is. Check out the career criminal that he is on the internet. And she's one of his mind-controlled dupes who goes around telling people that I'm a pedophile. Right? Because David Simonton started this rumour a year ago when he crashed my computer and took all my email addresses and sent them very perverse and very nasty things. He went out of his way to hurt someone. I just feel so sorry for him, because how will you ever clean up that karma? That's a big, big job for one soul to do. And so,
couldn't agree more.
And people are prepared to say out and out lies about other people. There's nothing worse than deliberate lying. There is nothing worse than that.
Well, you're right, and we're on a road to find love and compassion, and that's the only road that we're on. This is about unity and making the free will choice in the right directions. Since ye are gods, part of the divine, little sparks of the all spark, your intention and choice is an extension of that. So, you will be the God you choose to be, and some are choosing oblivion. But I did want to get back to this Rhode Island thing, because this is a big win. This has been ongoing for a while, so let's start shredding more of the bankster elites and see what kind of names we can pull out of this one. But this is the headline is this. Again, speaking of harming others, here's an individual, a number of individuals, how many countless people they've harmed in their greed. Here we go. Rhode Island public pension reform, quote unquote, looks more like a Wall Street feeding frenzy. So according to institutional investor, Rhode Island treasurer, bankster, and government official? That's just a conflict there. Anyway, according to institutional investor, Rhode Island treasurer Gina Raimondo is at work solving the nation's retirement dilemma, showing how tough public pension reforms can pay fiscal and political dividends. Don't believe a word of it. A look behind the curtain reveals her changes to the investment portfolio of the $7 billion employee retirement system of the state of Rhode Island will inevitably dramatically increase both risk and fees paid to alternative investment managers such as hedge funds and private equity firms. There's no prudent, disciplined investment program at work here, just a blatant Wall Street gorging, while simultaneously pruning state workers' pension benefits. It's no surprise that some of the Wall Street's wildest gamblers have backed her so-called pension reform efforts in the state legislature. Former Enron energy trader emerges as a leading advocate for prudent management of state worker pensions. That's more than a little ironic. So what's happened to date in Rhode Island is unprecedented in public pension history, and, given the myriad risks involved, should be setting off alarms. A little-known money manager hired by the state's pension to manage a paltry $5 million succeeded in getting herself elected as state treasurer. That means she's now responsible for overseeing the entire $7 billion. So essentially, there's been a coup. The Foxes, money managers, have taken over management of the hen house, the pension. And to make matters worse, she's an unproven veteran of the alternative investment industry, the hallmark of which is a profound lack of transparency. So here are more concerns I've identified related to the state's pension that should, in my opinion, be keeping Rhode Island taxpayers and state workers participating in the pension awake at night. Right. So there was a lot more information I'd read on this thief earlier, about 2 weeks ago. And, I think she's taken a salary of $250,000, or there's a lot of crazy stuff going on around this, but what effectively you have there, and I'm going to go back to the email just for the Cole's notes on this one. Where are we? Okay, well, I actually did what I needed to do there. That was it, get the word out. So anyway,
yeah. Well, one of the things that, if you actually wanted to solve the financial situation, here's how we do it, guys, right? We were talking about this on another show. If we legalize hemp, we can actually solve the financial crisis. Because, all we got to do is start manufacturing hemp. We can produce fuels, biofuels out of it, with no problem at all. All the papers, the fabrics, the textiles that you could possibly imagine. And we can also build composite fibers that are 10 times stronger than steel and lighter. So, sorry about that, but we've just solved the financial crisis. How's that?
Oh, that works.
Oh, I forgot the medicines. Imagine
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Rick Simpson.
Yes,
Run
definitely.
from the cure.
Oh, and I was saying last night on Tammy's show, I've been talking with someone regarding an event that's going to be held out on the left coast of Canada around the May 31st area. It should be in that date range anyway. So I've been asked to MC at it as well. And if you're going to be anywhere in the North America area around that time, Santo, you're more than welcome to come up and hang out with us.
I'd love to.
Yeah, hang out for a weekend or so, and yeah, that would be good. So anyway, so we're still working on some of those details about getting me ferried across Canada, safely, as it were. There you go. But anyway, it's supposed to be the end of May, and we still got some people that we're looking to get. But boy, if you could head north for a few days, that would be awesome. 'Cause you're going to be in the same region, So there you go. I thought I'd plant that seed for you.
Yeah, eventually I'll be there, Kate. Of course, I'm going to Ecuador in May.
Yep.
So I'm preparing for that. And then Truth Juice over with Tony in August-ish. Is that right, Tony?
22nd, yeah.
Good. Yeah, Leo. That'll be Leo time. Yeah, and I'll probably be in Italy because they're organising something there too. So eventually I'll get to North America.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Hey, and who knows what I might be able to pull out of my hat in the next little while as far as getting this system to scurry a little bit. There was one other comment here that was made. Let me just get down to it. So just to sum up, what Forbes is saying is what this individual has been saying for a couple of years as the Minority Report, and everyone, of course, dismissing them and making a hometown hero out of her all over the place while she pushed this through so fast. No one really stopped to see what was going on. The cover-up so actively masking deceptive practices, which is, of course, what hedge fund managers and investment bankers are all about. And that's a common tactic by an attorney or a bankster. And let's remember that this individual is both and is an immediate, that's why I mentioned this earlier, immediate conflict of interest, having an oath to the Bar Association and unable to fill her oath as a public trustee. You can't fulfill both. They're both at odds. One is to enable the people, and the other is an oath to make the money for the members of the judiciary. So they're conflicting, absolutely. And the last quote here was, can we, the people, at least have an honest conversation about that? And I think that is probably the most important thing. For those that still think that they need to vote, remember, you're voting generally for a lawyer. What are lawyers and judges all about? Making money for what? Their society, called the Bar Society. And they put themselves in positions where they can fleece you. And if you vote for them, you can't bitch one iota. You vote for them, you get fleeced by them, shut the fuck up. So there's your elections. How's that work? Does that work for you? Works for me.
Yeah. Hey, while I'm on the subject of videos, changing the subject again, Ken O'Keefe, you've heard of Ken O'Keefe, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Iran is not the threat. We are. American patriots, rise. That's
Absolutely.
one to look at. That's one to look at, and I've got another one. I'm just posting these on Facebook. I get the best vids sent to me from people, and I post them on because they're just amazing what's happening. Hollywood, there's a bunch of cowards there called actors, big-time cowards. Like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, idiots who are promoting UN agenda killing concepts around the planet and making it look like it's nice. Get into Roseanne's America. Roseanne Barr's the only one who's got balls in that place. Have a listen to her interview. Roseanne's America -interview with Roseanne Barr, and support her. I would be supporting her, sending her love and energy because she's got a voice and she's using it.
Yeah, it was a great interview she did on Russia RT television. Russia Today Television. Yeah, it was a beautiful interview, and she came out and said, she even brought up the MK Ultra mind control effects that are going on in Hollywood. Another little note here just came in from Laura, and this one I saw it, I think it was yesterday. She brought this to my attention. 600 fast food workers went on strike in New York City yesterday. So we must manifest ending any added lack for those already lacking. So there you go. So people are standing. If you can get 600 fast food workers to go on strike, come on, guys, come on. Stop building their guns. Stop building their tanks. Stop building their Humvees. Stop building their missiles, their tools of death. Because if you work in one of those factories or affiliated with any of those companies, you are guilty of anyone that is harmed and killed using them.
Yep.
You have an obligation.
Absolutely.
And they know it.
Accomplices. Absolutely. You cannot work in one of those filthy places making warheads and all that shit. That is disgusting. What have we become? How did they brainwash a whole nation of great American people, to build such a disgusting military-industrial complex? More than, I don't know what percentage of Americans are actually working in there, and just because they feel that they need a job, they've been, blackmailed, they've been forced. This is conscription. This is labor management, slavery. Call it what you will. It's wrong.
It's mass trickery, Santos. They've tricked everybody into actually into acquiescing with this system. It's incredibly, it's incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? It's incredibly clever.
Insidious is the word you're looking for.
Absolutely, yeah. But if you're paying you're paying taxes, you're paying for bombs, bullets, troop movements, wars. Do you know what I'm saying? And this sort of stuff. And this is the point. There are growing numbers of people that are saying, I'm not going to participate in terrorism, because that's what it is. If you're paying for all of this stuff, you're paying for the war machine. You're paying the bankers and the industrial military complex to keep it up. You're complicit. You are part of the problem, not part of the flipping solution. And this is where people have got to wrap their brain around. Hang on. Yes, it's what you are doing. You're upholding systems that are destroying all of us. So you've got to begin to understand that, and that's what we're here helping you, trying to do, We're going to be doing it in some greater amounts shortly, but when Synchronicity is up and running, we'll start to explain exactly how this is being done, who's doing it, and we'll be giving you lessons on what you can do as an individual, apart from just getting the word out, which is just talking to people. You need to spread the information to people that don't necessarily know about it. When they know about it, they're going to know that they are complicit in it. Or when they know they're complicit in it, maybe then they'll think twice about doing it. And that's the point. It's information. It's consciousness. We can't keep this thing up. It's coming down and it's crashing down. Like the Pope, like the Queen, the system's had it. It's just a case of let's bring it on quicker.
Yeah.
Rather than later.
And again, it's the little things, what you were saying, Tony. Absolutely, it's the little things. When you're going shopping, you say you go to the local food processing sales center called a grocery store. Stop buying products like Coke. Start looking for the Circle U and the Circle K and all the other different, what do they call that? Kosher. Those are kosher symbols. Those are symbols of a tax, thus processed foods that go to the local synagogues most of that money is shipped directly over to Israel. So start looking for those kind of things and stop buying the poisons that are killing you. Do it step by step. If you like drinking Coke, fine, give it up. If you're drinking 10 a week, which is you're killing yourself anyway, and I have nothing but pity on you, but knock it back to 5, then to 2, then to 1, then nothing.
Well, can I just say something on that?
Sure.
If you imagine that you're drinking this aspartame, right, in this stuff, what's actually going on is when you drink it, it goes into your stomach, and the temperature of the stomach and what actually goes on in your stomach turns it to formaldehyde. That's what they cover people who have died in order to preserve them, right? You're drinking formaldehyde, and it's pickling your guts from the inside out. not a good idea.
And never mind the damage it's doing to the DNA. You got to remember, everything here is energetic. Everything has an energetic signature. Everything that is being created to mess that DNA up. I mean, you've heard many people on our shows, Janice, Laura, both Karens, and the list goes on about the damage that gets done to us on every level, physical. And one of the things, you've heard me mention the body being called the meat stick. Here's the trick, as above, so below. They can get to your spirit through body, because you have a connection there, and what's happening is they're damaging the switchboard in order for you, the spiritual being, to run interference, so that you're trapped. You're trapped in the meat stick, and every time they do something physiologically to us, chemtrails, you name it, whatever else, hermetically you can get rid of it with a thought. It's that mind over matter, but not many people are there. But the simple truth is, what they're doing is they're altering your DNA and making it even harder for people to awaken, calcifying the pineal, interrupting chakra energies. So we can't even get into that state of meditation to get us there. So stop killing yourselves, stop poisoning yourselves. If you call yourself awake and you're out, buying these aspartame-laden products, I don't care if it's sugar-free gum, oh please, anything that has any of these toxins in it, you are actually destroying yourself spiritually. Unless you are really up on the Hermetics and understand how to transmute this stuff, and you have that will and that willpower to do it, I would suggest that you might want to change your diet just a little. Because while your as below body is getting inundated with all this crap, your as above, you, spirit, divine self, it's an anchor. What you're doing is you're filling your body with lead, right? And I believe it's turning lead into gold, transmutation. And the more lead you put into your body, right back to, there's the ankh, right? There's your anchor. Go right back to, the weighing of the heart. Maybe, Santo, maybe you can go off on this for a little bit. The weighing of the heart as part of the death ceremony in Egypt.
Yeah, well, that's how the science of light goes. In Egypt, they understood all of this, and they knew that the heart has a vibration, and only a certain amount of frequency will get you going upward, just like in a distillery. If you want to get the finer essences from that crude oil, you got to go to the top levels, because down the bottom is all the sludge. And the same thing is going on with the vibration of the thought waves that are what we call atoms that make up our body. These need to be sublimated. And what's going on is all of that sugar-free stuff, E. coli poo, actually brings the vibration down. So in the end, it's only going to hurt the individual who chews on that stuff. This is why they've got sports coaches and sporting people, chewing their gum, because these guys are successful. They win games. If you want to win, you need to chew like they do. I mean, the corporations have covered everything. They've covered every angle. It's very, very subtle, but I see it. I see that, here in Australia, AFL football, a lot of Australians watch it like a religion. And you see the coaching panels, there's probably about 10 of them in there now. Once upon a time, 30 years ago, one coach was enough, and he did it voluntarily, didn't get a pay. Then, in the 80s, they started paying them, big 6 figures. And then they needed an assistant. Then the assistant needed an assistant. And then the coach needed another kind of assistant. Now there's about 15 guys, right? And they're all drinking that Evian water from France and spring water, and they're all, and you watch them, they're chewing aspartame. They're all chewing out, and then the camera goes over to these idiots, and they're, chewing poo, and then they're drinking fluoride in the water, which is also full of poo. And the labels always facing the camera, so that people, automatically just make that connection to the brain, and they want to chew and drink that fluoridated water just like their heroes do. And it's so subtle, but you see it going on, and it's cheap, it's cheesy, it's disgusting, and it's got to be stopped by we the conscious.
Yep, all conditioning. This is the point. Hypnosis, conditioning, bread and circuses, the Roman Empire. It's all there. Just got to look.
Yeah, what's that coach of Man United called these days, Tony? I forget his name.
You're asking me why.
Yeah, well,
it's a
that
joke.
guy, I mean, here's a good example. He's always chewing. Always chewing. And, of course, Man United is a successful club, so you want to, teach people how to be successful, just do what this guy does. He's a coach of one of the most successful clubs. He's been there for 20 years, and he chews. And there's plenty of chewing gum brands out there by Wrigley's, full of E. coli poo. Get into it. Tastes great.
Hell, they even named a stadium after Wrigley. Wrigley Stadium over here, baseball stadium. And of course, their bread and circus zones are, they're not small. They're, 30 to 50,000 people stadiums, and some up to 100,000 for football games. It's absolute madness. Absolute madness.
Yeah, crazy. And there's also other areas to this, guys, as well. While we're talking about stadiums and while we're talking about these modern day, what was the Roman word? Colosseums. These things, there's other things going on with these things. They do everything for multiple reasons. Let's put it this briefly. They build these things on areas of ley lines or energies or meridians that are running across the earth. Now, we've exposed about HARP, and we've exposed about how they built all the railway lines across the HARP meridians and etc., how they're using the HARP frequencies to basically mind control the people, and as well as the damage they're doing to the planet in the process, keeping the frequency dense. But these stadiums are put on key positions. They're like where ley lines cross over. And it's all the energy from all the attention, where attention goes, energy flows. And all the attention everybody in these stadiums is giving to the footballers is being manipulated, fed into the energy grid or the meridian system of the earth, and used to keep the consciousness of the masses low. There are many esoteric things that they're doing that have been hidden, and they've been hidden for good reason, because if you were aware of this stuff, you wouldn't be, number one, partaking in it, and number two, you wouldn't bloody allow it in the first place. And that's why everything is that's why they've put all of this stuff into place, and it all works together for their purposes. It's bad stuff, but we've got to face up to it in order to know what's wrong with it, so we can fix it.
Yeah, and that's an important point you're making there too. Again, you can refer to this as fear porn. What this is exposing it, so that we can find the solutions. And the solution is very, very simple. And it's only contained within you, and you got to figure this out for yourself. I can't help you, and no one can help you. We can share information and try to get to the same conclusions, to the same resonances, if you will. But it's finding the compassion, finding the love, and to see how you can transmute that energy. I was discussing with a friend earlier today regarding. We opened up with pedophiles, so let's have a look. We're dealing with some very, very degraded beings that, some are pure psychopaths. Some are humans that have been, altered in DNA levels, and that could be generational to the point where they've got a broken calculator. Say the number 5 is stuck down, they're punching in all the numbers thinking they're doing everything right, but they always get, any equation, say the 5 is child, anything with, 5 in it that's broken, they will never get the right answers. So what it really is for me is about exposing it and getting people out into the light, because you want to talk about a shock raw. Okay, well it's time to jumpstart these people. That kind of energy jump across universes. So, and I've said it many times. There's not much point in walking around beating up 5-year-old retarded children, and that's effectively what we're dealing with. We're also dealing with Cro-Magnon. remnants of Cro-Magnon with no prefrontal lobe. So they have no ability to love or have compassion because their brains aren't functioning properly. They don't have the tools inside their heads. And you'll notice a lot of these guys out there, they've got very flat foreheads, and that's you'd be surprised how many of them you'll notice. And these are the ones that have no sense of compassion, no sense of love, and never will, because they're completely incapable of it. They're spiritual, if there is anything spiritual about them, cannot connect, and they're basically running off pure meat stick, and that's dangerous. And that goes back to Thomas Burgoyne, what you were saying, Santo, about animals getting elevated wrongly into human form, and that's what we're dealing with here. And there's lots. Well, not as many as you think. It doesn't take that many. One rotten apple will destroy a barrel. So what we got to do is start sorting out the rotten apples and putting them out, out in the sun. End of story. For me, it's exposure, getting these people out, and the ones that can be helped will be helped, and the ones that can't, well, that's where they can go hang out with the rest of their bar buddies behind bars. Just a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Time to be active. Certain ones think, oh no, it's best to run off into the hills, love and light, and just wait for the universe is going to bring love and light, and everything's going to be okay, and they don't want to touch anything negative. Well, that's pretty irresponsible, because there are ignorant people that would be blessed by our insights and our help to help them out of this mess, because they have no idea that they're in the mess. So, it's about getting your hands dirty and being active in the rebellion against the evil wherever it is in the universe that you find yourself. We are here not just to observe it. We are obviously here because we can see it and know how to fix it and can help, and therefore we must. We are obliged. It's a duty. You cannot escape it. And a lot of people are trying to, sell the New Age concept of, run away and just love them and love and light and all of this crap.
New Age shit.
Yeah. They've also been brainwashed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and don't realise that they are doing the bidding of the elite again, because they wouldn't. That's what they're teaching in the Jehovah's Witnesses brainwashing thing that I was involved with for 20 years. Oh, brothers and sisters, if you rebel against the government, you're rebelling against God, because God put the governments in place. And they all clap and think, oh, yes, we the sheeple, we obey the government until such time as God deals with them. Same message. The Rockefellers are pumping money into the Jehovah's Witnesses, pumping money into these gurus. You pay $600 to get front seat to listen to someone channel Zerubbabel. We need to right,
Yeah.
Who are these idiots? and so then you get more brainwashed people with, oh, love and light, it's going to save us. Yeah?
No, sorry guys, that ball is squarely in your court. The only one that's going to save you is you. And you bring up a very important point. For those that say, well, I've had enough and I'm just going to pack up and go somewhere else. Well, thank you for, people who do that remind me of the Monty Python film when they're attacking the castle, and of course they start launching stuff at them, and instead of saying retreat, they go run away. And sorry, if you were part, let's just say if we're incarnated into a certain area, you're there for a reason, and you're shirking your responsibility and your mission. If you were part of the problem, you still are, especially if you're using system and documents and whatever to flee, and that's what you're doing. You're running away, and the only thing I can think of there is the cowardly lion, and that's the one that you have to overcome. And it's a matter of doing the little things where you are. We stand. We don't run. You make a stand, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what we have to do. So stop running away. Stop looking for passports. I'm going here and I'm going there. Well, great. Run the fuck away, you coward. How about you stand put and let's sort the problems that we have. We have been scattered across this globe for a very, very specific reason. You know, you wouldn't want to... here, I'm going to go back to it to see if I can pull it up on my Facebook. It's something I read last night. It was beautiful regarding the freaks. And go ahead, Tony, while I find this.
Yeah, okay, fine. Well, that's what we were actually, saying. It's a simple fact of there are, billions of us. This is the situation. There are a tiny, tiny, tiny minority of people that are doing this stuff to the masses. So, how do you think if you had a billion of us stood on one side, and you had 100, let's say, soldiers over the other side, who do you think could look at who and run in the opposite direction? Who do you think's got the power here?
Tony, I do want to interject there because I want to make sure that we're calling out the right people here. Okay, it's not the few that are doing it to us; it is the few that are making us do it to each other.
Yes. Okay. Well corrected. That's the point. We are allowing it and acquiescing to it, which is our problem. And that's the point. All we need to do is recognize that problem exists, and then we'll stop doing it, and then we change it all. And we can do it overnight. We can do it straight away. As soon as we get to a position whereby we recognize what's wrong. And that's basically where I'm going, We just got to recognize, okay, that hurts. I best not do that anymore. Stop banging your head against the wall because the wall's not going to move, and it's going to hurt your head. You might want to walk around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, the only thing that you have to do is if you want to solve anything, this is what works for me. If you want to solve anything, the first thing you got to do is you got to look in the mirror and say this: I am the problem. And then you figure it out from there. As soon as you sort yourself out, you're going to start looking at yourself more and what you're doing and how you're interacting and causing chaos, and then blaming everybody else around you. We're very, very quick, and we've been well indoctrinated into doing it. We're very, very quick at blaming somebody else. Flat tire, kick the cat. That whole mentality, it's been literally bred into us. So here we go. The freaks shall inherit the earth. Pay attention, guys. This is to all the freaks out there. And may you stand, right? The freaks shall inherit the earth. Decades ago, many sensitive people began feeling the shift. We could see into life's pattern and know, at least vaguely, what was coming. Remember when we were the freaks, when society stared at us like crazy people let loose in the streets? Have you realized yet? We are becoming the new status quo, caring about the earth and all her creatures, pursuing spiritual awakening, connected with the power of magic and manifestation, working with energy and subtle forces, healing through the heart. You are not alone anymore. Someone told me, there's only one shaman per village. We are spread out to saturate the world with this new consciousness. It is vitally important to connect with other modern shamans, to ground yourself in this new reality, to be reminded that you are not crazy. Together we are lighting up a pathway to a beautiful future of peace, prosperity, and joy. A world where the heart and soul are the beacons we are guided by. So to my sister sensitives, don't ever doubt your gifts or your value to the world. I am grateful that you, personally, have survived the challenges to hold up your own light for the world. Bless you, sisters. Thank you for sharing your light. Your day is dawning at last. Divine Feminine awakens, guys.
It's here. Mama's back. Mama Isis, she's back. She always was there. You can find her in the first book of the Bible, Gen Isis. Because it all begins with her. It all begins with her magnetism. And everything after magnetism is electricity, duality, this fictional world that we live in. So we need to go back to magnetism. She's got to come back. And we've got to cross the Red Sea back into the Promised Land, folks. Get out of the left brain into the right. That's where Isis is. Left brain is sinister. Sinister is sin. And you know what happens to sinners? They are just people who insist that they want to stay in that left brain exactly how they've been educated. Enlightenment's over to the right, folks. You got to cross the Red Sea, the Corpus Callosum. It's red.
Yeah, there's a beautiful word you just used that is, again, hooked on phonics, right? If you insist anyone do anything, you are actually passing judgment. Right? Look at the word, insist. What is assist? You're creating blights and poisons upon others. So how about we just start trying to get along? I think that would work better. You know, I don't resist anything. I don't insist anything. All I can do is share my experience, and that's it. There's nothing more to it. You do what you want. All I can talk from is the experiences I've been through, and learning the things that I would do and the things that I would not do. And we've all done things that we would not do again. That's the whole joy of learning truth, because in finding that truth, you have uncovered the other half. Because in every truth is only a half truth. There has to be something opposite to it always. That's kind of how Hermetics works, right? I've been delving heavily into the Hermetica again with the Kabbalion, with the webinars, and it's actually very, very nice going over it again in such detail. And I've got to tell you, it's I haven't read it for a while, and it's a whole new book again. It's a whole new level of truths and half-truths and all the rest of it. So, and I posted it before. I'll probably post it again tonight. It might be a good idea for people just to sit down and understand that we live in a mental universe, and that which you put out is what you're creating. That which you speak, your voice, is your ebb and flow spirit. And what you say is what you are, is where you live. That's your home. So we need to change our speak as well, from saying, well, I can't do that, and I don't do this, and I won't do that, and start turning it into a positive, because you are literally programming your DNA. Tony, you can touch on that with that Russian study.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the majority, 97% or around there, is turned off. The Children of Winter was a book that was released, and it looked at what they did when they took, I think it was 40 children, and isolated them from, any effects, any social interactions. There's, they let them go feral, basically. And some of the things that these children could do with their DNA automatically reactivating was incredible. And again, I'll post the link in the chat room here. But you're talking teleportation, you're talking telepathy, you're talking telekinesis. The list goes on and on and on. And it's not just one study. If you look at China, what children in China are doing, they've got if you do some research on the Chinese children that have got, basically, they've been born with superpowers because the DNA is reactivated. Again, it's not just one. I'm collecting from lots of different studies. In German studies, they took a whole group of pensioners, and they played music that was from when they were 30 to them, and fed them food of good quality and stuff like this. And what actually happened was they started to age reverse. They started to get younger again. There's loads of this stuff that's out there at the moment for us to be able to get hold of this information. And what it comes down to is reactivating your DNA. I noticed somebody posted in the chat room earlier on about vitamin D from sunlight. Well, what's actually happened, when I was a boy, when I was a child, the sun used to be yellow. The sun has changed from yellow to more white. So what's happened, the frequency of the sun has changed. So whereby where we used to get more vitamin D from the sun, we're not getting so much. But it's turned to a different frequency. And the frequency of white is actually re-encoding or reawakening our DNA. So there's so much going on, but you wouldn't know any of this unless you've looked into it. And that's the problem. The majority of people don't look into it. They're too busy at football or watching the TV or drinking Coca-Cola and pickling themselves from the inside out. That's the problem. All we are saying is, look, the information is there. All you need to do is look at it. We've done the hard work for you. Santos, Kay, and I, we've all produced works that you can get these things and go and look at them in your own time when you've not got to run the kids to school or go to your 9 to 5 and all that sort of stuff. Turn the TV off and educate yourselves. But this is the point. We can help you, but we can't do it for you. And that's the point. That's what I think I really need to get across.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And again, it's the little things. Solutions. Let's get some solutions out there. They quote law enforcement unquote looking for grow ops. Well, make the planet into a grow hop. And I'm talking take any seeds, hemp, apple seeds, any kind of seeds you can think of. Excuse me, and start planting them everywhere. Food trees, vegetables. Just for what it costs to get packets of seeds or whatever. Just start. And I'm talking, go through your parks. Go through everywhere. And I don't care. They can make all these pretty flower arrangements and all the rest of it. Throw a fucking a walnut in there to grow. Throw apple seeds. Throw whatever it takes. And if they're gonna try to take down individuals, well then let's go super luminous here, and let's make this entire planet back into what it was, an Eden. With you didn't have to worry about going to grocery stores because everywhere you turned there was food. You didn't have to worry about that. You had a chance to live, and that's what we're getting back to, where we can start reconnecting with each other. Everyone that contacts me, it's like, thanks for friending me, and I says, well, of course I'm going to friend you. You're family. Why wouldn't I? And these are the things that I've adopted for myself that resonate with me, and I can't say it profusely enough. And the information that Tony and hopefully myself, and of course Santa with astrotheology, what we can bring to the table, and all the guests that we can get in here, including the listeners that call in, this information is invaluable, and it's a way to start doing things. People cannot, not everybody can do what we have done, and I'm not saying that we're different and special. We just have a different mission. That's all. This is what we do. Everyone has a mission, be it big or small. It doesn't matter. But the beginning of the change starts with you, and it can't start anywhere else. You can't look outside of yourself. Never mind turn the TV off. Trash the damn thing. I hear people bitching about, BBC TV licenses. Well, what the fuck are you doing? You call yourself awakened and a truther? What are you doing fighting in court with that? Just get rid of the damn thing. It's the easiest way to do it. Instead of I'm going to go pick a fight. All right, well, there you go. What's a TV giving you? Bullshit. Carrier waves, 60 hertz cycles, program. It's nothing but a tool of mind control. So get rid of it. Get some of the garbage out of your diets. Start, pick one meal a day and make it healthy, and start getting into the mindset. Start changing yourself. Start looking at your mirror every night and saying, did I make enough change today? Start taking responsibility for yourselves. And that's why system treats everybody like fucking children, because that's how everyone's acting. We're too busy walking around figuring out, well, I need to get this gun so I can protect myself from that asshole. And that asshole saying, well, I need to get myself a gun to protect myself from that asshole. Who's winning there? The gun manufacturers. And look what we've done again. We have given away our energy to those that are creating things that we use to kill each other. And the guys, something you said earlier in the show, the guys that are sitting up on the hill in Switzerland are sitting back laughing. They're laughing. They're going, look at the kids. They're killing each other again. And how much did we make on that one?
Yeah, for the listeners, please check out the YouTube video called The Pharaoh Show. I'm going to be interviewing this guy who presented that 1-hour documentary. He went around filming all the Templar properties of the Bankster pharaonic bloodlines that run this planet with bloodshed. And he went around filming all the sites and explaining how they do this, how this pharaonic bloodline of pedophiles are running the show. And we're just sitting back and, sharing in the stock market, and doing commerce and supporting all of their products. I mean, not we, the listeners on this show, but that's the world that they've produced.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually just got a little note here from in one of the chat rooms. Love and Stuff client just said, yeah, the Pharaoh Show is excellent. And she just saw it last night. So there you go. I mean, no resonance there, huh? And we have to be solution oriented. We can look around. It's so very easy to look around every day and see so many problems. That's what the illusion is designed to do, to keep you thinking in a problem oriented existence. What we need to do is start becoming the solution within. And I'm going to drill this home until this planet snaps out of it. You, we are the problem. We need to sort ourselves out. There is nowhere else you need look. Because as soon as you start fixing yourself, and I know there are many of you out there, we have, and I'm so proud to say this, we have the most awakened listeners on this planet. I know that. I get the emails. I get the Facebook messages. And I know you guys are making a difference. I'm preaching at the choir a bit these days. Again, these are things that you can find yourself interacting with other people. That you need to, you don't want to. We talked about this last week. It's not about ramming stuff down people's throats, guys. It's just about dropping a hint. Standing in the grocery line and you see a bottle of Dr. Pepper or Coke or whatever. You said, just look at it and go, wow, I used to drink that stuff until I found out what it was doing to me.
Yeah.
That stuff's pure poison, man. Holy, I drank that by the bucketful.
Yeah, Kate, see, this is one thing, too, that the listeners need to bear in mind. All three of us have only recently awakened to this level on the panel, the three of us. I mean, I was knocking on your door trying to save you as a Jehovah's Witness 10 years ago. And you were, had one foot in the fiction. Tony'd had one foot in the fiction. We've got passion because we see clearly... I'll speak for myself. How stupid I was. Oh, God. Man, the things I used to do. I've got a beautiful son, and I used to discipline him so rigorously as a witness, bringing him up, dragging him to the meetings in those cold winter nights, and out witnessing door to door because I was so zealous, and I'd instruct my son in the book, the Live Forever book, or the Bible Stories book, and I'd get him to point to Goliath, and I'd be teaching in Italian, and I'd be saying cattivo, evil, and my son would know all the stories. So he'd come to David and Goliath, and he would point to David. He'd say bravo, and then he points to Goliath and he'd say cattivo. From a little kid, I was teaching him how to buy into the duality of good and evil because Jehovah wants it, you see. And I went over to visit my son last night and realised how beautiful he's turned out despite how ruthless and how aggressive I was, And now he loves me because I've set him free. He has set me free by forgiving me, and we laugh when we talk about all the stupid things that I used to do. I could sit here for an hour and tell you some of the things that I did, and this is why I'm so passionate. I will never buy into a fiction ever again. And even if I'm still partly in a fiction and I'm not 100%, 100% right where I am right now, I'm going to be. I promise you that.
Santo, you are 100%. We've already discussed this, and this is the thing. When people get to a point where they realize that it is absolute fiction and blah, 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 that is the point you have to get to. Now from in my reality, you can do whatever needs to be done because you're doing it for need, not for greed. It's out of pure, utter necessity and survival. So you're 100% of the way there. We do have a color. That's my observation, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was just going to add to that. I was exactly the same. I've actually had a conversation today with somebody, and it was about, when I actually wrote the book, and I'd actually got the book finished with all the links and the information, basically proving what I'm looking at here is actually true, and it's irrefutable. I'm going, I was crapping myself. Literally, I was in real serious fear and being attacked from all different areas as to whether or not I could actually release this thing, because once I've released it, I can never take it back. And that was the point. So I had to bridge that fear, and that took some serious pushing to go, okay, right, I'm going to do this. And Santos was there at the time when I first released it. Santos had one of the first copies ever to be released. And I said, look, I'm seeing what you're saying, Santos. I'm right there with you. You're bang on with this, you're bang on with that, you're bang on with that. And we had conversations about it. But once I'd let that fear go, once I'd released the book and gone, wow, and just let it go, then I started to learn how to deal with that fear. And the fear got less and less and less and less. And that's what you do. You need to make that one step on the journey. And that's the biggest step you'll ever make, because it's the hardest step you'll ever make. Once you've taken that step, then the rest of it gets easier and easier the further down the road you go. And that's just my experience as well. I wasn't always awake the same.
Well, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I take a great deal of pride in is knowing that the reason why I'm doing this right now is to a level that I am doing it is because I've been wrong more times than most people. I went out looking, and of course, if you want to find something truth, well, you kind of need to find its mirror opposite, and boy, did I find a ton of those. And then, life turns into something I would do, something I wouldn't do. And it's a very easy process, Once you get it and you start, you always know, you will always know. 3 times the charm, guys. That when you're doing something that is not completely resonant with creation, creation will tell you. So we have a caller here. I'm just going to bring him into the call. It's area code 703. And, whoa, there you are.
Hi there. Hi, Kate. Hi, everybody. It's Jenna.
Hey, Jenna, how are you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling in, hon. This is awesome.
Actually, I'm kind of just listening, and I don't know how I got in the queue again, but I don't mind. That's fine. I just caught you the last 5 or 6 minutes of what you guys were talking about. So, but I hear you. I know what you guys are going through. I've been awake for about almost 2 years now, and I didn't really consider myself awake until I went off searching without leadership. I wasn't, for the first time in my life, I wasn't following somebody else's lead. I just felt things were not right. And it took me quite a while, but it wasn't until I got that 9/11 was an inside job. Once I got that was my epiphany. That was what I call the gateway drug. It opened up everything.
And again, yeah, you're absolutely right, Jenna. And this is why I go back to the same thing like the 9/11. You see, people can look at it from a strictly duality perspective and going, oh, it's so evil. They killed, almost 3,000 or over 3,000 people, and they destroyed this and that and the other. And then I can look at them and say, yes, absolutely. From that perspective, I can have what you're saying. But that's only half the story, because the other half is, how many people did it wake up, and how beautiful and wonderful was that?
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Woke up a lot of people. So we have to look at everything in creation with gratitude. And it's never the situation that needs to change. It's only our perspective. I've used the example of the Earth spinning in 2 directions at the same time. It is a Merkaba, after all. So when you're at the North Pole, looking down, it's spinning counterclockwise. And when you're at the South Pole, looking up, it's spinning clockwise. So what direction is the Earth really turning? Well, it depends on how you're looking at it, right? And on what side, Turn yourself upside down, and all of a sudden it starts going clockwise. Because really, in space, what is up and what is down? Go ahead. I'm waiting for anyone to prove that one. That would be cool. We have a perspective of Earth or Gaia only from what has been painted for us. Look for how long we were dealing with a heliocentrical solar system, when in fact it's we got the sun with all these beautiful planets trailing behind in this beautiful DNA. It's 12-strand DNA, right? So there's got to be a correlation there somewhere, Santo? As it creates a helix traveling through the goo as it were, the liquid ether. They call it space, but it's not really that. So anyway, yeah, awesome, Jenna. It's just great to hear your voice. What other? You got any questions? We're pretty much wide open tonight. We didn't come into this with any topic per se. Just kind of it's literally an R&R night where anything goes. So what's on your mind, hon?
Well, it wasn't really. I wasn't planning on talking to you guys, but hey, I'm in, so why not, right?
Right.
Well, I got to tell you, after listening to Janice the other night with you, Kate, I have been kind of struggling with my own guilt. And Santos was just talking about how he was with his son. I have a 7-year-old, and I circumcised him. Of course, yes, it was the best decision I made at the time. I was completely asleep. But I feel so bad about that.
Well,
and many other things that I've done as a parent previously. The last couple of years, I've been a really good parent, very conscious parent, but I still really, that one gets me.
No, I totally hear you. And the first show I did, I mean, I was in tears most of the 2 hours. I didn't say much. I just let Janice go because it was those realizations of. But again, we were dealing with information that was inaccurate, and of course, we, being the loving, compassionate, trusting souls we are, would never expect, a doctor or a, someone that we are supposed to look up to in our society to create such a heinous crime against us through a deception. So in that light, it balances out. So it's not about and I understand the whole guilt thing. It's not. It's about awareness now. These are things that will not happen again. And with you or with me or with those that have been involved in the awakening, there are so many things now that we've grown up. And it's like look at us. I'm the same way. Look at us as 5-year-olds in our adult bodies, trying to work within their grown-up world, working our way through all the deceptions and everything else. I'm still amazed that anyone woke up with the amount of effort that was put into the program. So take the win. We're here now. We're better armed intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. And we move forward. And this information, yes, it affected us, but we have the option now of helping others so it will never affect them. And in that is the healing. And again, it's I forget who I think it was I forget who I was talking to about this, but they literally had a sit down with Kim the other night. They were going to have a sit down and talk to all 3 of their boys and explain to them what happened, that they were unaware, and again, that becomes a healing, and that miracles happen in that awareness. So a beautiful point, Jenna. So again, when we realize things, don't take them for what they are. Don't wallow in them. And I'm terrible. I'm a songwriter. I do, right? So I work my way through it. The important thing is to see it move on. That's all.
Now, what would you guys say to somebody who, I used to live in D.C. In fact, my career was pretty much, I would say, profiting off of the military-industrial complex, living in D.C. And when I woke up, I had to get out. And I moved to a small town in North Carolina, and I'm in the Bible Belt.
Out of one war zone into another, huh?
Yeah, totally different kind, but yes, exactly. And
did I lose you guys? You're breaking up there, Jenna. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not a day goes by when somebody doesn't say, "Have you found Jesus?" Have you been saved?
I didn't know he was lost, and I didn't realize I was drowning. I don't see any water. It's man, I feel your pain on that one, Jenna. It's like the Bible Belt. Yeah, they've got the belt wrapped right around their brains, and it's getting pulled tighter and tighter. I wish they could actually see what that beautiful teacher was showing. To be him, not to worship him. No one's coming to save you. The information was already there. You need to save yourself.
Oh, yeah, but it's me against,
Oh, yeah, good luck.
And others. So, Wish me luck on this one.
Well, see, I'd wish you luck, but I think you got your work cut out for you. Hey, you know what, kiddo? They'll awaken when they awaken, and there's not much that we can do other than just plant seeds and be the example, be the light, and just know that wherever we are, all of us individually, we're exactly where we're supposed to be right now. All things for a reason. It is up to us to find the reason. It is up to us to see what changes we can manifest, because we have the greater responsibility. With knowledge comes responsibility. So that's why I was ranting a little bit earlier about people that, well, I'm awake now and I see all the shit going on. I'm running away. Well, thank you for that. We'll just we'll hold the Alamo for you, so that when everything gets better, you can come back and go, hey, and we'll say, where were you? Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't run away when we need you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jen.
Where are the other guys? Where'd they go?
Oh, they're just sitting back, letting me rant. So,
I was actually just going to comment on that. You said exactly the right thing there. Don't run away when we need you. And we're also talking to the police and the people in the armed forces. Don't run away. Don't quit. Don't go and hide in the corner. You know what I'm saying? We need you to help us deal with this situation. And the same goes for everybody in all these other professions as well. We need people to run the electric plants. We need people to continue on until we can change things and put them into a perspective, into a different system that's going to work. Don't go quit. I mean, God bless you for thinking, that you were doing the right thing by, obviously quitting the military situation is completely different, because that's pretty much obvious. But what I'm saying is we still need people to run machines, we still need postmen, we still need bus drivers, we still need people to ferry food backwards and forwards. So don't quit. Just be aware of what you're doing. And that's where we need to start ourselves off from. Just look at what we're doing and then say, right, okay, is this good, is this bad? And then we can change it from the inside, not from the out.
Bingo. Works for me. Hey, we got another caller here, so you got company, Jenna. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I leave my open, so don't hesitate. Why do you guys always wait till the last half hour to call in? Call the beginning so we can have this beautiful conversation, coffee talk kind of thing.
Coffee talk, I love it.
Coffee talk. All right, area code 774. Your mic is now hot. Questions or comments?
Hey, how you beautiful people doing? Jeremiah here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that voice. Good to have you.
It's good to be on. I just came on the last half hour as usual. But yeah, it's a powerful conversation from what I'm hearing. And I just wanted to ask a question. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the whole Chrono vision and Andrew Brishago witnessing Jesus Christ being crucified. I've always had an issue with the whole crucifixion thing. At the same time, I didn't know it was a historical event. Maybe it's something just being picked up from the ether, and that's just how they saw it. Or do you think that there's like a negative agenda? Because what I'm hearing from Andrew, because he's running for president in 2016 to reveal this wonderful technology, and objective conditions of heaven on earth will be, definitely within the next, a few years, definitely. But I was wondering if you guys have any comments on that.
Well,
Shall I take that one?
Yeah, well, I just going to say I just sent Andrew a Skype message today, try to get him on. Hey, we had Bernie on, we had Brad on. Might as well get the whole crew, Laura, everybody,
Andrew.
Yeah, and of course I have to put a call into Barry.
Alfred.
Yeah. Chris Darrell.
Barry, yes.
Yeah. That was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. And we got another caller in at 401, so I'm just going to open up the mic anyway. But, yeah, take that one, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. I've looked into Andy Bisaggio's stuff. There's some incredible stuff there. And I've spent a long time, I would say probably about 3 years, going through his stuff, at least 3 years, and cross-correlating it with other bits of information, other pieces of the puzzle. There is definitely, absolutely, categorically a lot of truth to what's been going on. And I go through it in the book. Again, I look at the Vatican chronovisor, the time travel, the holographic universe, the fact that we're in a hologram, as above, so below, the magnitude of the solar system that we're in to the subatomic particle and how it actually functions. And yes, there is a situation whereby some of what he's saying is actually true. And believe you me, I can't do it in 2 seconds because it's a big issue. It's a lot of information, but a lot of what he said is going on. And yes, absolutely. But I can't confirm everything that he's saying, okay? Having looked at it, having it weighed it up, having cross-correlated it and drilled holes from every flipping direction possible, yes, and we're due to have him on the show soon. We've had Alfred Weber on, we've had Laura Eisenhower on, we had Bernie on the other night, and also, as Kate pointed out, we've had Brett on as well, and his information backs up. In fact, I actually went a bit further than Brett was prepared to go by releasing information about what they're doing with the HAARP frequencies and how they've tuned the metal structures on the Earth to interfere with the energy meridians of the Earth. And he correlated that when I'd obviously gone forward. But I already knew before. I don't need him to correlate it because I understand how it works. But the point is, yes, all these guys are talking about something that has been it's been put into the black programs, and it's been hidden from all of us. Now, one of the reasons that it's been hidden from all of us is because they want the Bible. They wrote the Bible a long, long, long time ago. If you've got time travel, right, technologies, then you can travel to the past or to the future. And this is the kicker: how you could write the Bible to play out all of these events in the future, 2,000 years away, without having experienced them, is impossible. So, I mean, this is just a really simple analysis, but the fact of the matter is, we have time travel. If time travel was ever invented in the past, and I'm talking billions of years, or in the future, billions of years, or in any other galaxy, billions of years away, then, and you can get access to that, you've always not only have you got it, but you've always had it. So in order to create a situation in the future where you and your friends, as in the New World Order, can confuse the shit out of billions of people, send them off down a road where they're going to beat the crap out of each other because I'm Christian and I'm Muslim and I'm an Iraqi and I'm this and I'm that, create havoc all over the planet, and ultimately walk away laughing with the goods. In other words, the entire population microchipped. That's the scenario in a nutshell. I'm sorry, but that's the scenario in a nutshell that we're dealing with here. You know, we're talking people's names like Yitzhak Rabin encoded within the Bible code. 9/11's encoded. 7/7's encoded. People's names are encoded in the Bible code. How they were assassinated, the birth dates, the death dates. Look up the Bible code. I mean, this is an incredible picture, but this is why they've created it, to make it utterly, completely beyond believable. Because you couldn't get this stuff if you saw it on a movie, and that's the point. So if you understand the time travel aspect, the holographic universe aspect, the fundamental sciences and physics, which have all been covered up, because they've told us we're in a Newtonian universe. We're not. We're in a holographic universe. We're in a harmonics universe. Look at plasma physics, primer fields, all these sorts of things. When you've cross-correlated all these different things, then it makes sense. And until then, you ain't going to see this on the BBC. End of.
There you go. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Well, if I could just expand on that, absolutely, Tony. That's absolutely beautiful. And another thing that you mentioned, and you mentioned the holographic universe that we're in. Well, basically, what happened was during this program, I believe that they were in a chair, Montauk chair, or whatever, some kind of device, and it dissociated their consciousness. So they left their body and they went into some other outer reaches of some dimensional realm. But as they went past it, they saw this like massive electronic device. Each one that had this account confirmed that there was just something that was generating a hologram, and that's all we're in. So when you mentioned the bismuth crystals, I believe what you didn't mention that, when he mentions the bismuth crystals are used as an octagonal array, and they send light through it. And the way that light passes through it, it creates a supercharged particles. And from what I'm understanding, and I hope you can expand on this because you understand this technology, is it's breaking through our physical perceptions of what we think of as visible light spectrum, and it's breaking through that through this concentrated array of light, and it's just moving it within the entire holographic time and space. So what I'm curious about is how do they, I don't know if you know this, but how do they pinpoint certain coordinates to decide where they want to go into time and space? And I was also wondering another thing, if you could touch on this, and I know this is a very complex subject, but basically when they discovered Ernetti and Gemelli, the priest, the Catholic priest that discovered the chronovisor technology, when they did the magnetophone with the Gregorian chants, and I know Gregorian chants are associated with the solfeggio tones, so they're very kind of like crystal, like I guess the harmonics, just like it's infinite in its capacity. So is that how they access this kind of realm? I don't know.
Well, that's why I was trying to jump in, because Tony got bumped and he came back and he got bumped again, so he didn't hear a damn thing you were saying. So I'll have to get him to listen back and talk to you direct on that one. We do. I hate when that happens. But it was beautifully put, Jeremiah, so I didn't want to stop you. So nothing was wasted. I don't like wasting concepts when they're on a roll, and you were on one, so I left you. We do have another caller here, area code 406. Just making the mic hot if I can. Waiting for Tony to get back, and maybe we can touch on that. We're 10 minutes left here. I know we're going to run past the hour a little bit, so maybe you can touch base with Tony once we get him back on the board here. Area code 406. Your mic is hot. Questions, comments? Questions, comments. Area code 406.
406 or 401?
401. You've been open for a while. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Yeah, I know who this is. I knew as soon as I said Rhode Island, that might inspire.
Oh, God, don't say that.
I know. Might inspire some people to call in. So.
Oh, good. I had quite the incident this week. I'm advocating for a woman, and the colonel's son, Trooper O'Donnell here, gave her a hell ride doing 80 miles an hour. I was trying to follow him to the police barracks. They arrested her, and by the time I got there, her eyes were like big as $50, and her wrists were bruised, and they transported her to the police barracks. And by the time I got there, obviously, she was like so terrorized and so traumatized, and it was over a misdemeanor. They booked her in another town. The colonel's son came down and picked her up, and I tried to follow him, and they had her over there, and they didn't know that I was going to show up. I think they thought that she was all alone and isolated and whatnot, but in the middle of the night, after she stayed there for a little while, they transported her to the Adult Correctional Institute, or women's prison, overnight, and they put her into segregation, and her court date was the next day, and this was over a misdemeanor.
Yeah, it's beyond psychotic. These guys, what they're doing, and
I just couldn't believe it. I was so afraid for her. She was looking at me out the back window, and I just couldn't believe. She just, they took off with her, or he did, like a bolt of lightning, and she's been afraid that they're going to kill her.
Yeah, well, again, it's gone beyond believing. This is daily incidences that are occurring with these guys, and it really, in the mirror, it is purely desperation on the dark principalities aspect of trying to maintain that fear, control, and this is the level they get to. And there is a breaking point where we're at it, and people are going to have to make the choice between love and hate. It's not fear. No.
Right, and they asked her, and I got to talk to her in the interview room because I just kept insisting I wanted to see her. She said to me, they asked me if I was sovereign.
Yeah, again, it's all these buzzwords, you know. These little robotons, these little automaton meat stick dogs that are out fetching treats for their masters are well programmed with all the little tag words that as soon as you hear this, you're allowed to shoot. And this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bunch of jarheads. Fortunately, there are some honorables still in there, and I would call upon them to start policing your own little fuckwads. We're tired of.
That's what happened. These two other guys came out, and I said, I questioned why he did that, and I said to them, she hemorrhages when she's stressed. And I asked them if they knew this, and they looked at each other, and I said, well, she could die in your custody, and you better be aware of that. Because I'm watching her, where she goes and what she does and who's taken her into custody. But there was another incident prior to that. And then she said that they told her they had to get her to the ACI. I don't know why, because it was a misdemeanor, But in the middle of the night, they transported her. But a week prior to that, she was arrested again, a misdemeanor, a contempt of court, and they arrested her and arraigned her in Providence, put her in the car, took her to Pawtucket jail, put her in the cell downstairs, and I arrived in Pawtucket, and I went back, I got the police report, sat in my car, looked at it, and I walked back in, and I said, well, it doesn't say what cell number she was in, doesn't say she hemorrhaged in your cell downstairs, because that's the police station I picked her up, and he looked at it, and he goes, she wasn't here. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it questioned me, because I started looking out the window, I said, no, it was here. I picked her up here.
Yeah, again, they're well trained in lying and what have you. This is one of the reasons why, these statutes and acts and all the rest of legislation that people somehow think matters to them. It doesn't. It's all illusion, and it's time for the people to stand peaceably and just enough. And
right, and if I didn't put it together, and if I wasn't there, they would have had her all alone. But I kept showing up, and it was like surprise. And even when she was arraigned, they told her it was a $5,000 bail at the prison. She got to court the next day. The judge was staring straight. I was sitting in court, and she got off with nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, again,
not even a case number.
Yeah, well, I think you need to be having a little chat with Tammy, and I'm sure I've got you hooked up with Tammy already, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to spend some time with Tammy, and there's a few things that you need to do, because the victory this week has been that the funds are now not there for a lot of things. There's a lot of big stuff going on right now, and one of them was specifically in Rhode Island, where these crimes are coming into view, and
really.
I would get you to actually listen to Tammy's show last night on Leaving the Farm. Just grab the archive from Critical Mass Radio Online. Links are all there.
I didn't even know what day it was today.
Yeah.
I've just been trying to keep up with these characters doing this to her.
Okay, I need to jump in here for a sec, love. We're about just over 3 minutes left. We'll roll past. No. We're going to keep going. I just need to. I have formalities that I like to make sure that are broadcast live on the air. Great big thank you to Critical Mass Radio, Paul, Lisa, and the crew at Critical Mass for providing this platform for all of us to have a voice where we get our words out. And of course, every time we speak in truth, it goes into the Akashic, it uploads, and this is critical information. And if you are wanting to catch any of the show past the hour, you're going to have to Skype in or call in. But it will be in the archive generally about 15 minutes after we go off the air. So there you have it. And we just had another caller call in as well. So any other comments you want to make on that? Hello?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm still like hunkered. I just can't believe this happened. You know, if you did not see this with your own eyes, you would not believe it.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Believe it.
That's the thing, is I've experienced it, so it's not a matter of belief. It is a matter of fact. You've got a lot of these, majority at this point, as far as I can tell. From my experience, it was all of them, but I'm sure there are some good guys left, and girls, but very few.
The two that came out and brought me back, they stayed with her the entire time and wouldn't let that guy next to her. The one that transported her to the place. And on the way out, after I told them what happens to her when she's so stressed out, they kept asking me, well, what do you think? Does she look okay? What do you think? Does she look okay? And I'm thinking, you idiots, you're the one that has her in custody. You're asking me.
Yeah, exactly, you know. One more thing, Tony, before you go, I'll let you go here. I got area code 805 is in as well, so I just want to let you know your mic is open. Go ahead.
Santos, is Santos doing any webinars or anything we need to know about before he goes dead?
Yeah, weekly on a Friday, 5 p.m. Melbourne time.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that works into I believe 3 or 4 a.m. Eastern Standard.
And where can those be found?
Join at School of the Holy Science, subscribe, and you'll be notified weekly of all webinars. There's another 10 teachers on the school.
Right on. There's other things coming up, too, with broadcasting with them. Ruth got in touch with me, so I'll be getting involved with that as well. Hey, go ahead, try and shut me up.
Yeah. Look, what our sister is experiencing is people trafficking. There's a lot of money to be made on the share market with their securities and bonds and stocks. They've got bounties. They're going out there because of the bounty, guys. It's people trafficking. It's the biggest business on the planet.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and that's exactly what our problem is. Excuse me, and we just have to stop being party to it.
Yep, say no.
Yeah.
Absolutely say no. No contract, moron. No contract. And besides, you look stupid in your costume suit, okay?
Oh, yeah, he did, let me tell you.
The only other piece of advice I hand out to people, if I'm going to hand any advice out, is get rid of any corporate ID that you're going to be carrying around. If you must carry something of a government document nature, only carry your birth certificate, because it cannot be used for identification. If they attempt to use it, they're actually committing fraud. It forces their hand. You fulfilled your obligation of saying, well, this is what your government gave me. This is all I have. There you go. And that's it. Again, go back to Mark Fishman, his website, notaCitizen.com, and that is the only document I will ever carry with me as a document of entrapment for those in the system. And that's it. End of story. So again, and I stand my ground where I'm at, because only one of us has to. So I know what my role is, and I'm going to stand in that one, and that works for me. It's not comfortable. It's not a lot of fun, but it works for me. Oh wow, we got a few more callers in here. So area code 805. Questions or comments?
Hey Kate, hi everyone. It's Colleen.
Hey Colleen, how are you?
I'm very well. I didn't realize we were at the end.
All good, no worries. So we're rolling into we're in the recording part of it now. We generally get about up to a half hour. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead. Hey, it's a loose Friday night, and of course started. I figured out, Santa, what happened with the clock, with Greenwich Mean Time jumping ahead. It jumped me back, and it would to the 7 slot, which would have jumped you back as well. So critical mass hinged on Greenwich Mean Time, so that's what did it.
Right.
Anyway, so go ahead, Colleen. Questions?
Okay. Hi, Santos. Hi, Tony. Hi, everyone. Hi. I just wanted to say that every time I tune in and I listen, I always glean a gem from each time, and I think what Santos was saying brought a tear of how when he was asleep and when he was a parent and what he did with his son, and how we can all stay in compassion and know that there's always something new for us to learn. That saying that every time I learn something new, I realize I don't know anything. And when in 1982, I witnessed a child being vaccinated or had been vaccinated, an infant, and this child screamed for 12 hours without stopping. And the new mother was beside herself, and she did not know what to do. She was just ready to kill herself. She blamed herself, and the grandmother was there, and the grandmother kept saying, I know it's that vaccination. And that child was my nephew, and the mother was my sister, and the grandmother was my mother. And I vowed at that time, when I have a child, that there will be no one touching my child with the vaccination. And 15 years later, I had my daughter, and I was having a home birth. And there was a slight complication, and I had my midwives there, and I was asked to, go to the hospital, just in case something would happen. And so I ended up in the hospital, but I was with a doctor who was really an advocate for women that wanted to have a natural birth with midwives. So anyway, I said no one was going to touch my child. And I really feel for Jenna, and I really would like for her to really keep compassion for herself, because I learned from witnessing my nephew, and she learns from other people and their experiences. And then from that point on, after we wake up and we know, then we have to be the advocates out there. And I have been studying with people like Michael Tessarian and Jordan Maxwell and David Icke and many, many other teachers and gurus for 25 years. And what I have found, my greatest teacher is Gaia herself, going back to nature and really connecting with how nature works. And then we can be empowered. I'm sorry, I'm about ready to cry. But I have so many things going through my head right now. But just being open and compassionate, that we learn something new every day. And when we call people sheeple, we were once sheeple too. So just keeping a really big open heart, and that energy that other people will wake up and they will learn too.
Oh, agreed. And again, we are no longer the sheeple, and the only ones that we are focused on now to awaken are those that are the deepest asleep, and those are the ones that are stuck in the system. They're the ones we came to save. So well put, Colleen.
Can I read something really quick? It's Arundhati Roy. She is a beautiful being from India, an activist.
Go ahead, absolutely. I got a couple more calls, but we got some time here, so I'm just letting that's to let the others know that I'm not going to miss them. I just want go ahead.
Okay, it's what's going on here with all of you guys and all of us. And her quote is, "Our strategy should be not only to comfort or to confront empire, but to lay siege to it, to deprive it of oxygen, to shame it, to mock it, with our art, our music, our literature, our stubbornness, our joy, our brilliance, our sheer relentlessness, and our ability to tell our own stories, stories that are different from the ones we're being brainwashed to believe. The corporate revolution will collapse if we refuse to buy what they are selling, their ideas, their version of history, their wars, their weapons, their notion of inevitability. Remember this, we be many and they be few. They need us more than we need them. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing."
It's beautiful. and that's exactly what we need to adopt. You know.
Can we get a copy of that? Who was that? Sorry. That's beautiful. I just want to read that.
I know.
Every day.
Cry. Yes. It's Arundhati Roy. Her name is spelled Arundhati, and Roy, Roy. She's from India.
And how do we get that quote? What's the name of that? How do we get that? What you just read?
If you look up on even just like Facebook and you put her name in, and there'll be a lot of different sites. You just put on Arundhati Roy quote, and it'll come up.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome, that was beautiful. So I'm just going to quickly go up the list here. And hey, Cindy, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Cindy,
hi. I'm doing wonderful, Colleen. That was just beautiful. I've been listening, enjoying the whole show, and having a lot of fun in the chat rooms. It's been a very inspiring show, and I just wanted to say I love you guys.
Good to hear your voice, Cindy.
Good to hear you too. Colleen lives just a couple miles away from you guys.
Oh, nice.
And she is just an amazing being. Colleen, can you email that to me or send it to me?
Yes, I would love to. Yes. I'll post it again on Facebook too.
Please do. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you all.
Absolutely. I'll leave your lines open, so don't be going anywhere. So just,
love you all.
Okay, move along down the line if you have more callers.
I want to get everybody in tonight, and we're running out of clock. So area code 715. Your mic is hot. Area code 715. Yeah, questions or comments? Who we got?
Hey, how are you guys all doing? Keep up the good work.
No, we're doing good. How are you?
Real good. My question was about a birth chart.
Okay.
Would you be reading any tonight?
Maybe at the end, if you're up to it, Santo, it's entirely up to you.
Well, let's see how we go with the calls, because I was thinking I've only got limited time really today. I've got to do another show later on, so I was thinking of just being on for the next 20 minutes, Kate. But I think you might probably do it next week.
Okay, yeah. So make sure you call in next week, and we'll definitely do some charts, because we didn't get there tonight. I think we had a few other things that needed to be brought up, and people need to know that we're winning and that they're making the difference. So. But just hang in there. I'm going to leave your mic open. Just watch out for background noise. That's all. Okay? All right.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. You're great.
Oh, thank you. So are you. Mirror, mirror. Ha-ha.
Right on.
All right. So we got area code 727. Your mic is hot. Area code 727? Yeah, that would be you. Any questions or comments?
No, we were just listening. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries. I just like to make sure.
You're awesome, and you're definitely an inspiration to all of us.
Well, there you go.
You definitely not be waking up as much as we do.
Well, I tell you, see, you had a comment. Might not have been a question, but you had a comment. That's why I want to make sure I hear from everyone. It's just a phone call, okay? It's like, hey, how's it going? So, what's your girlfriend's name there?
Lisa.
Lisa. So we'll put you on the spot there, huh?
It always does.
Right on. No, that's awesome. Any other questions or comments? You're in the call, so have some fun, guys.
Go ahead.
I was wondering with Santos's syncretism and astrotheology views, what was he actually connecting with the ET UFO phenomenon? You know, how do you sync that in with everything?
Well, that's a good question. Go ahead, Santo.
Yeah, well, I've dwelt on that. I probably don't put a lot of time into studying that, but I concur with the Hermetists and the Bible tradition that teach that we were visited by the gods, extraterrestrials, and Netho, Plato, Plutarch, all of these guys speak of these visitations and how they illuminated the human race, So hopefully we will be able to embrace all of the extraterrestrial cultures like Giordano Bruno was advocating 400 years ago. And so we can we can just be the gods that we always were, and we can go anywhere in the universe, any galaxy we want. We can, have a party in Andromeda next week if we wish to, and we can all be there, and then we can go to another galaxy the week after and enjoy the whole beauty of this universe, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So the ET connection goes way back, as in where do people think we got the information for the charts and how to read them and how to pay attention? Bill Donahue has some beautiful work on that as well. If you really want to see the tie-ins, just check out some of Bill Donahue's work as well, because he went into that in great length with the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and what have you. It ties all the astrology and what Santo does. Everything ties together. So these were the early teachers that brought it to us.
I would also suggest get a copy of the book,
yes.
Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness, which I've put awakeconsciousawareness.com. You can download a copy of that book. It blows wide open the UFO and the hidden technology information, and it ties it into a lot of the other things that are going on. If you want my take on this, what we've got is a breakaway civilization here, hiding all of this technology in order to have all of the people following various religions into a situation where they get total and utter control of the people, which is not going to happen now because we're busting that fiction.
Exactly.
But that was the intention. Breakaway civilization. They've got the technology, and they want everybody to follow religion straight into the trap. And it's not happening.
Tony, I was going to ask, Jeremiah, you're still on the call, right?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Tony's here. Did you want to maybe go back over the question that you asked him earlier when he got bumped off the air?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it ties into this.
Oh, beautiful. It sure does with the technology. First thing, Jesus Christ, right? Well, the priests Ernetti and Gemelli, they discovered that this kind of like a time travel capability through using the magnetophone, I believe, or some wire recorder. And by doing that...
They were using colontic ketones.
What is it?
Colontic ketones, frequencies.
Interesting. Okay, because I know that they were listening to Gregorian chants, and they were splitting it up for whatever reason. And I was wondering why they felt the need to do that. Like, did they feel like something would come about it? Because I know that Gregorian chants, I don't know if they're based off the solfeggio tones as well, or vice versa. And they hold like spiritual and just very enlightening frequencies. And kind of like the crystalline structure, kind of like that harmonic tone, 528 hertz used to repair DNA. My question is, basically what they did was that they split the Gregorian chants. I don't know how they did that. I would love to know if you knew how they did that, how they split it and ended up reaching some different reference of time through auditory sounds. I guess if for the people that haven't listened or heard of this, basically they heard Ernetti or Gemelli, they heard his father, like they heard like, My Little Zucchini. So as they were listening to Gregorian chants, that came in there some way, and basically it had capabilities of entering time. So what they did was then they went to Enrico Fermi and they developed the chronovisor technology. And by doing that, it was kind of like a television, and it created like the holographic image or something along the lines of that. I'm sure you can expand on it. And, they found the Jesus Christ crucifixion. They found footage of that, and it was different than the ones that we know. A few things, very minor things, like the cross was kind of like the size of a telephone pole, and he wasn't nailed through from the footage that they saw, he wasn't nailed through his palms, but he was nailed through his wrist.
Yes.
And there were just various differences. So, and this is a huge question I have. and I'm sure you can expand on this as well, but basically they use bismuth crystals to send this light through, and it's in an octagonal array. How is that done? If you could expand on this technology, I would love to hear it.
I think we're going to go out of Africa here for a sec. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, it's taken a long time to sort of like get the pieces of this information together. I'm so glad that you actually pointed out he was actually put up on a pole. It was never a cross. This is the point. This is part of this is part of the information that comes in with Santos, because Santos talks about the crossing and the sine wave, etc. The whole story of Jesus has been twisted in so many different ways. It's incredible. But I am aware of the information that you're talking about to an extent. However, you've gone a little bit further into some of the research than I've gone to as far as the bismuth crystals. I don't know anything about bismuth crystals and what that's done, but I have looked at the colontic ketones, which was the basis for the chronovisor, and it's the Vatican chronovisor that's been hidden, which is the time looking glass technology that's been hidden away in the Vatican for I don't know how long. Again, you'll find more information written in the book, because when I was studying that area, I went deeper into that particular area. But as we said earlier on in the show tonight, it's all to do with harmonics. We're in a harmonic frequency, and it's a harmonic universe, and it's a harmonic interdimensional universe. There are different dimensions of subatomic, as above, so below. And we just find ourselves at the moment sitting on this one particular plane, looking around going, wow, this is quite cool, but we can't see all the other levels above and below, within and without ourselves, without us. Again, it's a very complicated subject. We could go into it, but there's a lot to go into in order to get the information across. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the time tonight, but I'm glad you've done, you've looked into that, and it's very interesting. And yes, Christ was crucified on a pole, not on a cross. And he was also released from that cross, and he was let off. In other words, there was a bargain struck, and that's when he ended up going to France and on the various other areas. Now, I'm going to be writing Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness, Book 3, and I'm going to be going into all of this different stuff together with the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, and lots more stuff to do with this. But I'm not. So that being said, I'm not going to go into that in any massive detail right now. But the book will be out at some point when I get the. Let's just say when I feel that it's the right time to write it.
Exactly. And I guarantee it'll be worth the read. And I think we'll give the last word to Cindy tonight. Cindy?
Hello?
Yeah, I just thought I'd lowball you there. Woo! There.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I've actually been just chatting with Colleen and Santos. I did just drop that. It's a picture with the quote on it in your box. This has been an amazing show, and I love all of you. This show fired up a lot of people, and it really wasn't. I just happened to pop in tonight, and this is beautiful. I just walked back inside from sun gazing, and I guess all I can really say is I love you guys, and just keep on keeping on. This is beautiful, and you guys are waking up so many people, and we're hearing the repercussions of it. So.
Oh, and I just got your text there. I guess we'll bring. Sorry.
Yeah, Mary was trying to call in.
Okay. Let me just grab her Skype and I'll pull her into our call.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mary. Where are you? There she is. Just text her and let her know I'm going to bring her in.
Oh.
I'm multitasking here, bad enough, right? So here we go. And I guess we'll let Mary have the last call, and hopefully she's there. Oh, so much for the last word, Cindy. I tried.
Oh, it's okay. Quite all right.
Okay, so hopefully Mary will answer the phone here.
Well, she just messaged me, so she should still be online.
Oh, she's showing on. Absolutely. It depends on whether or not the kids got a hold of the speakers or not.
Right.
Yeah, we know what goes on over there. It's so funny. It's so funny when she talks about.
I hear a dog barking. That's Mary.
That's mine.
Yeah, it's kind of fun when Mary's talking about her being the cardinal sign and all the mutables are following her around, waiting for her to tell her what to do. Anyway, Mary, how are you doing?
Oh, that's funny.
I know.
That's what I came in to hear.
I know, it's funny as hell. I loved it.
No, I'm immutable too, but I was meaning like when we do the overall count.
Oh yes.
Then everybody in the house is way more mutable than me, and they all kind of are like, okay, what should we do now? Looking at me, following me around.
you see my post in the room, eh? Mutable to arms, follow Mary around.
Yeah. I get it.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Cindy.
Mama.
Well, it looks like you're getting the last word tonight, so I don't know if you were expecting to come in and talk or just come in to listen or what.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I just blabbed and I was like, I had Santos Bonacci on the line. I didn't ask him any questions.
Well, he's there, so ask.
I know. And now I'm just like, duh.
It's getting a lot of feminine energy tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did have one question. Like, because I don't read a lot of the books that he reads, or I try to some of them, but did they used to use an 8-house system? I want to know about that.
Yeah, they did, but the 12-house system is more revealing than the 8-house system, because with the 8-house system, it's virtually just the angles and the succedent signs. So the angles are the most powerful. You're looking at the first most powerful sign is the ascendant, and then the MC, then the descendant, then the IMC. They take up, that's 50% of the power of your chart, and that has to do with the present, the now, whereas the succedent signs have to do with the future, and then the mutable signs have to do with the past, and they turn out to be cadent signs. Cadent because they have so little influence on the chart.
You mean the house, right? The first house. And the fourth and the seventh and the 10th.
Exactly. Those ones there, those are the angles. The first, the fourth, the 7th, and the 10th. You wish that all your planets were in them. You want all your planets in them. You don't want them in the succedent or the cadent house. But the succedent houses were in the chart, and the best of those would be the 11th and the 5th, because they're fortunate houses, whereas the 2nd and the 8th have negativity associated with them. But yeah, the 8th system just dealt with those the powerful signs, really.
I get it. Like we're in the middle of Taurus there, but yeah, this does make more sense to me.
Interesting. Listen, Santos, I have a question.
Fire away.
Cool. We were listening to Janice Basello the other day, and she's got an amazing story. I don't know if you know it or not. But,
yes, I've heard her. She's great.
Yeah, absolutely. The blinding stuff. One of the things that she was saying is she remembers being an egg in the womb pre-fertilization and having to choose from all of these sperm suitors which one she was going to accept. Now, she'll go into a lot more detail on it tonight than I could possibly imagine to. But the point of the matter is what became absolutely apparent to me when she said that is there's some of the astrological information missing. There is an element from conception where the egg is fertilized to the gestation and then the birth that the astrological chart is missing, and I have no idea where it is, really. And I wondered if you might be able to comment on that.
On your chart?
You mean on
No,
doing
no.
a birth chart for when you were conceived? Is that what you mean?
Everybody's, yeah.
Yeah, like doing a conception natal chart, I guess.
Yes, there has to be. If there is any fundamental effect with the stars upon who we are when we're born, that's fine. I accept that. I agree with it. I understand it. But if that is indeed the case, there must be an area of the horoscope missing from conception to birth.
Okay, well, someone's got a dog fight going on.
Sorry.
That's okay. My 2 cents worth on that is what I said the other night. I'll stand to it because my memory of birth, I was there, was from an exterior viewpoint as the body was being born. That's when I grabbed it. Not for me. That's me. You know, I don't know if anyone else has that reality or not, but
okay. I was going to say something that I thought of. When your natal chart is drawn, it takes into account when you were conceived. That's why, like Santo goes over, you need to take the cell salts for the months you weren't in your mother's womb. It's all kind of wrapped into that. When you come out, is wrapped into when you were made. Kind of.
That's why I take the bioplasma. I take all 12 cell salts every day.
Yeah, see that makes sense to me. But anyway, Santo, jump in.
Yeah, you can work out when you're conceived. I've worked out when I was conceived on July 7th. And the best ancient author to work that out is Vedius Valens, the first century astrologer. I might do a show on that. I might do a webinar on that, so we can do that. Yeah, because that'd be handy.
Can you repeat the name? Can you repeat the name of the person you just mentioned? Because you cut out when you said that.
Yeah, Vetius Valens. Vetttius, Vetius Valens, one of the foremost astrologers of antiquity. But yes, you can also learn about conception through the natal chart. There's endless amount of information. Bonacci, the 13th century astrologer, explains how you can get infinite information from the astrological wheel. One of his works called On Basic Astrology would be very, very worthy of acquiring if you're interested in astrology. The deepest insights into astrology come from Bonacci, I believe. He influenced the Renaissance. He's the true, heart and spirit behind it. It was purely an astrological movement. The Renaissance came from the understanding of astrology. The Moors were bringing it in from the east. And Bonacci loved the Moorish astrologers. You know, he was based all his work on their astrology, and so that's what the Renaissance was built on.
Absolutely, thank you. That's beautiful. That is exactly the answer that I was hoping you'd have there, because I having not studied it, but I thought there was a relevance. There must be a relevance.
Well, yeah,
and indeed there is.
Yeah, and I would see the relevance in the separation of church and state being church being spirit and state being body, in that the creation of the body, although separate from the spirit, because we drop them. Sorry, you have it for a lifetime and then you get another one, right? So with me, I could see where they would factor all of that information in, because there is that 9-month gestation, and I believe with me it was I worked it back to October 15th, so right in Libra, 2 days before my mom's birthday. So I kind of knew what was going on there.
Nice.
Yeah, same with my sister. We're 12 days apart, 2 years, right? 2 years less 12 days. So it was always around mom's birthday, right? So.
Santos, I have a question too, if I could.
To me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Santos?
Yep, he's there.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. Well, many of us were born in the hospital, and we all know the confusion and craziness in the hospital. And so on our birth certificates, it's written when we were born. But how accurate is that?
Deadly accurate.
What?
Deadly accurate. I know. I was there for both my girls, and I logged both the times.
Well, for my daughter also. But I was born in the 50s, so, and my mother was, in a very stressful condition, and many other people said of the, craziness in the hospitals at that time, and how accurate are these birth certificates. Even by a couple minutes, it changes, doesn't it, Santos?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, every 4 minutes is a different degree.
Right. And I was a twin. My twin sister was born 12 minutes after me, so that tells you what my mother went through. And so that was I've been thinking about that. How accurate is it for many of us? And I, of course, was right there for my daughter, and I made sure it was written exactly when when she was born.
Yeah, when she crowned
when she crowned, yes.
Yeah. So no, I see, and that's the thing too. That's the benefit of being awake to that level where you're actually paying attention. And I was born in a house and logged at 8:40 a.m. June 15th, 1964, and that was indelible.
Right.
So my mom made a very clear point of that, whether she was aware of it. But I know that she did follow her astrologicals to a certain degree, given the limited information we had back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Right? It's only now coming to the fore with people like Santo and Bill and so many others, and Mary. And
so many of our mothers were drugged up.
Yeah.
And just the like I said, the craziness in the hospitals, but it's interesting then when you look at your chart, and so much of who you are is in that chart.
Oh yeah, I mean it's in the heavens,
Yeah.
It's like
you can rectify your birth chart, like go through it if you're not sure about the exact time and for events and stuff. Yeah, it takes a bit of work. I'm trying to help a girl do that right now, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
I don't have a real strong energy about that it's incorrect, but that has come to me questioning that. So
I just read online
that
about
is,
some countries and some hospitals are just, like the staff, it all comes down to them, really.
Right.
Some of them, I just read the other day that some of them round off to the 15, so... A lot of, I know they tried to do that with my daughter, and I was like, no, I was watching the clock. Sorry, guys.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, we're also coming through a much more enlightened, much more awakened time where people are focused on that, and step by step, drip by drip. It's like what Colleen was saying. It's like when I was during that show with Janice Barcelo. I saw all the blessings that I got being born in the house, left intact, all the rest of it, and then I also got to see the other side of it, having cut both my daughter's umbilical cords. So it again, it's you measure the curse and the blessing, and you take the perspective of it, and we know now things that we can do to help the rest of our family around us, the rest of the 7 billion people here, and the ones coming in and the ones leaving.
And that's why I was saying about the compassion, because I was awake and aware about my daughter will be 18, and I was awake and aware about the umbilical cord, not to cut it too soon. But I learned that from the midwives.
Yeah.
And then I've had 18 years of being a pioneer of not vaccinating her and having to go through the whole, having to sign the papers and people looking at you, other parents and mothers looking at you like you're crazy when she was younger because I'm not vaccinating her. So we learn. I guess it's all in the timing when we learn things, but it feels like it's all speeded up now, and there's really no excuse not to know, I think.
Yeah, that's probably the most true statement you can say. There is no excuse. Ignorance of the law, and of course, the law I speak of is universal law. The ones that are creation itself is not a defense from it. And what we're doing now is coming into that awareness, that realization. And we have the tools now. We have the holy science. We have the information. We have the exposure of those that are trying to dumb us down. And we're waking up the rest of our family here. And that's the biggest job that we have to do, is to wake up the sleepy, Deputy Donuts and the rest of those entities that are running amok. I go right back to what Santa was saying with Thomas Burgoyne, that what we have in a lot of cases are animals that have adopted into a human body and still have the predator-prey without any sense of compassion. We're getting there. We're like, you think back 2-3 years ago what we were dealing with, and what are we dealing with now? Things are getting exposed to such a level that you can't see anything but hope. It's the fear has been turned into something less tangible, and we're in that moving solution direction, right? That's where we're actually going towards. And if you heard our shows even late last year, talking about the sheeple, and I'm as guilty as the next one about it. Learning that compassion aspect, if you keep convincing people they're sheeple, that's what they will be, so they're not.
Right.
And we do have the most awakened, enlightened listeners on the planet. That I know.
And we all know from our experience that you can learn something in a flash. Someone says something, one word, and it turns on the light bulb. And that person is never the same. But when we name call and we use sheeple, and then they don't even want to hear. Is what it comes to me anyway.
Victims.
Yeah, it creates a victim mentality. And with me, I love, on occasion, bringing out the ice bucket, because sometimes you have to.
That's true.
And that's not to say that is the means of, the end result. That is the means to getting people to, maybe it might take them to get a little pissed off to get them up out of that apathy tone.
Yes.
So they can have a look.
But how many of us were called black sheep in our lives?
All of us.
We were the black sheep.
Either one of us.
Absolutely. Yes.
And now one of us.
Yes.
Well, you heard what I read earlier about the freaks. We are now the status quo.
Yes.
Yes.
Randy made a comment the other day that for many years everyone was shunning him and calling him crazy and all this, that, and the other. And now when there's a problem in the family, who do they come to? They come to Randy.
That's right. And we've all been there. I bet every person listening to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I had commented on that about the one that was posted yesterday, the freak. But it really is. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the one we've been waiting for, with all our scars and bruises, everything we've been through. It's time. It's us.
We're it, folks.
It is. We are the Avengers. We are the superheroes. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Gaia didn't raise no wimps.
Nope.
And we go back to the comment Bernie had made the other night, and with me, I wouldn't want a lot of the ones that are not awake getting on, the ones that love wars and weapons and all the rest of it. I wouldn't want them leaving this planet to go somewhere else to stir it up. Absolutely not. But at the same time, when anyone or anything considers themselves superior over another, they're not part of the one. So that was an immediate conflict with me, and I'm not sure if it was you that made the post, Colleen, but someone had made a post with regards to that, and I'm totally in agreement, because here we are getting the literal shit beat out of us on all levels, spiritual, mental, and physical, and we're still standing, and we're actually growing, and as a net result, we become the invincibles. We become that which is evolving into that oneness spirituality, which is, for me, that is what I see the purpose of humanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's beautiful.
One thing I want to throw in there as well is with relation to the law and the legals and the system and the universal law aspects. We do need to notice that leopards have spots and butterflies have patterns on the wings, and crocodiles blend into the colour of the water, and deer blend into the safari. So there's an element in nature that allows trickery to be part of its design. This is nature at its beautiful best. How one animal tricks another into its lair. Spider to the fly type thing. So there's an element of beauty in the inherent, what could seem evil to the untrained eye. Do you see what I'm saying? There's an element of beauty in learning the lesson. I'm not going to get tricked there because I've learned that lesson. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's brilliant. It's absolutely ingenious how
it is.
To encode all of this.
Someone said, I think it was on your show the other night, about, these people that are the cabal and the evil ones. They're really there for us to see and to wake up to and to evolve. They have their job, and to accept that. And it's so hard for me when one of my things is the slaughterhouses and the animals, and how can people do that? And sometimes I lay awake at night and just nauseated thinking of what these animals are going through, and to have to see that, well, they are our teachers.
They're beings. Yes. They know how to live. They know how to live more than any other being on this planet knows how to live as an animal, and they live functional lives until we interfere. And I just, oh gosh, I've long been a trainer of horses and dogs, and I grew up around animals. My mother was the executive director of the Humane Society in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I've seen more torture than I care to, and I just, gosh.
Can you come train my dog?
I can. I sure can. You're so close to me, and I help the I've helped many families off the base where I live. Just help the families learn their animals better, and with kids and everything. So that is a common thing for me. And I don't even charge. I just teach people. Try to teach people animal behavior, and it all comes down to our behavior as well.
Of course,
I treat all my animals like they are human, are just like me. I speak to my dog just like I speak to my niece, and I did the same with my horses.
Well, when you talked about Gaia, Kate, and I had mentioned Gaia, she really is my number one guru, my teacher. And yesterday, my daughter's 18, and she's gone off to school, and she has a job. And yesterday, there was a bird that was caught in the flower bush, and my cat was kind of crawling, looking at it, and I told him to stay away from the bird. And I went over to the bird to see what was wrong, because she was acting really strange and kind of frantic. So I went to try to pick her up, and she flew off, and she landed on the side of the house. Well, she was wide open there, and I'm standing by our gazebo, and I felt this whoosh of incredible energy come by my neck, and here this huge blackbird came flying right past me, and I was talking to the bird, asking if it was okay, and flew by and snatched that bird right in its mouth and flew up to the neighbor's roof with it. I was devastated. I was like in shock. It was so violent. and I couldn't believe it. And I thought, oh, my God, I intervened in nature. This bird was probably protecting itself and knew that this crow was around. And I went to try to save it from the cat and then put it in a vulnerable position, and the crow came and snuffed out its life.
Well, either way,
nature, you know.
Nature takes care of its own, and you know, there's your dichotomy: cat or crow. So, you know, when that creature's time is up, I mean, that's part of the design, right? So it's all part of the holograph.
Such a lesson for me.
Just for reference on that, I've had actual birds walking out in front of the car, and one particular time I had a pigeon walked out into the middle of the road in front of the car. Sorry, it wasn't a pigeon, it was a pheasant. And thinking back on it, when I look at the situation, the pheasant was actually limping. It looks like it had been hit by a car, and it walked right into the path of the car, and I swerved around it to try and avoid it. And what I actually should have actually done, the situation presented itself where it wanted to go. It wanted to be finished off. So it works in both ways.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on whether or not you're looking or whether or not you're listening, or, you know, it's like that pheasant could have been praying, right, that's it, right. I've had enough, I want to finish it, I'm going to walk out in front of the car, and I avoided it and kept that pheasant suffering. So it works on different levels. It's weird.
Yes.
Very, very, very weird in different levels, because what you both are talking about, I have my nickname is Songbird, and I have a unique relationship with the birds. It's really strange. Where I live, I'm just a few blocks from the beach, and the birds here, from the hummingbirds to the crows to the blue jays to you name it, the seagulls, it seems like they follow me everywhere. I spend a lot of my free time just walking the beaches and cleaning them up. And they come to my window and called me outside a few months ago and led me to the beach where my father and I rescued a pelican who had dove in to catch some fish off the pier of our beach and got caught and tangled in fishing wire, somebody's fishing line, and my father and I pulled, I think 11 hooks out of his body and untangled him from all the fishing wire. He washed ashore when I went to go catch the sunset and the full moon rise right before Halloween. So
I remember you posted that.
Yeah. Just pay attention to the animals who come around you, because I believe they all have a message.
All things for a reason.
Everything.
Anyway, I'm going to get Santo and Tony, maybe if they got some wrap-up comments, because we got people chomping at the bit for archive. I know.
I forgot we're being recorded.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is still the show. Told you, it's just a phone call. You know. So, Santo and Tony, if you guys have any wrap-up points and any other final comments, you guys that are listening in on the calls or whatever, feel free, and then we'll wrap this puppy up and get this information to everybody else.
Just from my point of view, I was just going to say we're working on Sync's changed appearance, etc. We're doing what we can as fast as we can, and it's going to be good, guys. When this puppy gets really let loose, it's going to be awesome. But just bear with us, and God bless. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely. And Santo, you're good to go. You got another show coming up, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to let everybody rock and roll here. Thanks again to everyone tuned in tonight to Syncretism here on Critical Mass Radio Online. Thank you all so much. Tomorrow night will be, I guess, an outside-the-box sort of open forum. We do have a guest coming in, so hopefully you guys can tune in. We've changed the format from Where Eagles Soar to something a little less Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave that. Something a whole lot more loving. Yes.
No, the name might be.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's no harm, no foul. It is what it is, and it's all good, and we move on from here. And it's time to, swim away from the ones we can't save, and swim for the ones we can. So, and the ones that want it, and that's the important thing. You came to save you. You are everything you've been waiting for. So much love to everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, and for changing my world.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Take
Good night.
care.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you. Love you
Good
guys.
night.
Why do I feel like I'm on a Walton's episode? Yeah. Good night, Jim Bag. Good night, Lawn Boy. Anyway.
Oh boy.
Just throw the curveballs. Anyway, much love to you guys. Take care.
Kate,
yeah.
Epic show.
Epic is good. Yeah. It can't be anything but when you got Tony and Santos hanging out. It's awesome.
This was awesome.
All right. Love to you guys, and we'll catch you tomorrow night. Take care. Good night.